What it do, everybody? What's good? We are back in this thing. This is your boy Sage. We here with Nero Squad. We got my good brother Derek right up there. We got Nile all the way in the corner, Croco's corner, and we got my good brother T Smooth right next to me. We in this thing.
Uh,
We are
uh,
live and in effect. This is week 3, episode 3. We got some good topics we want to talk to y'all about. I just want to go through them real quick. We got the ending of Loki,
sir,
great series.
I don't want to interrupt you, but you was pointing in the wrong direction, so I don't know if you was high or something
In,
when you was pointing.
in my viewpoint, you're right here, nigga. So
Um,
you know what? You gonna stay right
I know
there.
you did. For Derek,
All
you pointed up in the sky. I'm
yeah,
like, he
yeah.
alive.
right.
So, I'm sorry, folks. Just to fix it, we got Chrono's corner to the left,
Crocco's corner.
Krako's corner to my left. We got
Yeah.
Chef, my man Chef D, right on top, and then we got the bum Sage who can't get his
Oh,
directions together. All right, I'll let you
Okay.
go ahead and kick it back and just want people to know the right directions.
All right. Before I was rudely interrupted, we got the
Rudely
Loki
interrupted.
ending. We got we got the new JJK. Sakuna was doing some damage on the battlefield this episode. We got the Marvels review. Luckily, we got one of the brethren here that actually was able to see it this weekend, so we happy about that. Invincible drop day episode 2. We're gonna give our quick thoughts on that. But we're gonna start off the podcast with a very juicy, very hot topic as of the past week, let's say 2 weeks since this game has dropped. For whatever reason, there has been folks. I'm not gonna outline what type of folks they are, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get the gist from after what I outlined to y'all. All right, so it's been some people around here that's been claiming Miles Morales is just Miles Morales. They're saying that Peter Parker is the original and only Spider-Man, and they're mad because of him being a token character and him not having any original things or anything like that. But it's better if we all just see it, and then I want to get y'all viewpoints from it after we watch it. So, Terrence, if you don't mind, kind sir. And then y'all can always just click on that stream window from Terrence if y'all
Apparently,
want to
Insomniac
make
is
it
going
full
to make
screen for me.
Miles Morales the lead for their Spider Man games. In other news, fire burns.
And then we can.
So, to no one's surprise, it comes out that Insomniac is ditching Peter Parker as the lead for their
Terrence, we can't
Spider
hear
Man
you.
games to be replaced by everyone's favorite token, Miles Morales.
You can't hear it.
No, we can't hear it.
You can't hear it. Um, you gonna have to pull it up. The Twitch stream on your phone to pull it up because I don't want to mess up the whole setup.
Oh, the audio?
Yeah, because
Okay.
the audio's playing through the stream. My
Okay.
apologies. I'll play it back. We'll fix those technical difficulties so everybody can hear because I don't want to mess up our setup. We just got started. Third episode, my first one. I don't want to do that. I don't want to mess it up.
No,
So
it's all good. I actually got a soundboard.
Hey, the first time I messed it up, OD, I thought I was able to do some shit. I tried to do that shit. That shit did not work.
well that's why you gotta call your IT guru. I
Derek,
got
you
you.
muted. We couldn't even hear your ass.
oh, my bad. But how do I watch it through my phone? It's gonna make me join the.
No, just go to my Twitch, tsmooth24.
I gotta add you in to the phone. Right.
My apologies, family, for everyone that's watching. Blame me for this one because I didn't think about this.
Nah, that was something that we both missed out because I didn't think much of it either.
And yeah, Derek dropped out.
Oh, because of the Twitch. Nah, I think he's still here. Oh, there
Nope,
he is.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Yeah.
he's back.
All right.
Oh damn, we live.
All right.
All right.
All right, I'm on the Twitch and everything. If anything, if either one of us isn't able to watch it, one of us could just be able to unpack it. It's only an 8-minute video. It's nothing crazy.
So I won't play it back because it's no point in seeing the whole title sequence. I'll just play it back
Yeah,
just a little bit.
hell no, don't play that damn shitty ass title sequence.
It was kind of fire though. Don't hate.
Nah,
Don't
fuck
hate.
this nigga. Nah, listen to what he say.
I understand
Listen
that.
to what he.
I understand that. But the opening credits is kind of fire.
I guess.
Okay.
So, to no one's surprise, it comes out that Insomniac is ditching Peter Parker as the lead for their Spider-Man games to be replaced by everyone's favorite token, Miles Morales. Fair warning, there will be some spoilers about the second game coming up, so you've been warned. It was obvious from the first Insomniac Spider-Man game that they were gonna drop Peter for Miles. There was really no other reason to have Miles in the game if that wasn't the intention. The team had 60 years of Spider-Man stories to use, and they could have easily done an updated version of Spider-Man's origin set in modern times. This would have given them years of games if they chose to do that. However, they didn't. They chose instead to have Peter well established as Spider-Man, having almost 10 years under the mask. That alone was the first clue that they intended to ditch Peter. The second was them adding in Miles Morales, who really had nothing to do with the actual plot, and then giving him powers and having him show them off at the end of the game. The next was a spin-off game focusing on Miles. All of that made it clear that the Spider-Man sequel was probably going to be the passing of the torch from Peter to Miles, which became apparent in the marketing for the game. Here we have the Venom arc, a major moment for Spider-Man's overall story, and yet they've shoehorned Miles into that story. He's not a part of that story, and even in the version of the Venom arc that the writers tell, switching Venom from Eddie Brock to Harry Osborn, Miles really plays no role in that. The whole arc revolves around Peter's friendship with Harry, yet Miles is randomly shoehorned into that relationship towards the end of the game. Throughout the game, Peter hints that it may be time for him to quit, which comes off as weird because this is literally the second game. Barely any time has passed since the events of the first game. The second game also questions whether Peter is even cut out to be a hero, and implies Miles is much better at it than him despite barely a year's experience. The best example of this is when Martin Lee decides to try to redeem himself. Peter says to Miles that he's never been able to get any of his enemies to reform, which runs contrary to everything about Peter as a person. It also runs contrary to the actual story, because Lee already felt guilty. All Miles did was put a face on the victims Lee regretted hurting. Ironically, Miles doesn't forgive Lee. Instead, he just lets go of his hate. Compare that to the hot mess that is Spider-Man 3. That movie is terrible, but it does have some great moments, and one of them is when Sandman confesses to killing Uncle Ben, and Peter finds the courage to forgive him. Moments like that define Spider-Man. It's the sacrifices and hard decisions that Peter makes that define his character, which in turn defines what it is to be Spider-Man. There is no Spider-Man without Peter Parker, because Spider-Man's heroics are an extension of Peter's personality and choices. Insomniac ironically shows this in the game. Peter has real problems, not just in the suit, but out of the suit. His life is jacked, almost entirely because of him being Spider-Man. The first thing we see of him is him teaching class only for Sandman to attack. Both he and Miles go out to fight, but only Peter ends up with a consequence. He loses his job for apparently ditching the kids. Does Miles or his friends, who all apparently know he's playing Spider-Man, step in to cover for Peter? Nope, they let him take the fall. Meanwhile, Miles has a relatively perfect life. Well, you know what? That's not entirely fair. While he does have a bunch of friends who all know he wears a costume, and a mother who's totally supportive of him fighting crime, he does have some problems. There's a girl he likes that he just can't bring himself to ask out. And he's got to write a bio about himself for his college application. And his mother is dating a new guy. Oh, and his uncle, the Prowler, is out of jail and might be back to his old criminal ways, all of which get neatly resolved in Miles' favor with little effort. By the way, this was the writers trying to make Miles interesting. He's so generic and boring that Harry Osborn, who's a side character, has a more interesting background and story, which I won't spoil because it's actually a good story and is one of the better parts of the game. So of course, when it came out that Insomniac is ditching Peter for Miles, there was a backlash, and on social media you got the usual suspects from both sides going, Miles Morales is Spider-Man. No, Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. So why is there this backlash? I think it's simple. Miles Morales has been pushed from his creation to replace Peter Parker, and the reason has been solely about race. That because Peter is white, he's unrelatable, so Spider-Man needs to be race swapped so minorities can see themselves in the character. It's not about a lack of popularity, which is the usual reason for replacing the character, because Spider-Man remains popular, even after the Clone Saga One More Day and Dan Slott's run. It's not that no one likes Peter Parker or that there aren't more stories to tell with that character. I mean, the obvious story to tell is to finally let him and MJ get back together and have a kid. Of all the characters who should be a dad, it's Peter. But for some reason, the powers that be at Marvel just don't want Peter and MJ back together, although they are allowing that story to be told in the Ultimate Universe. My point, though, is that people love Peter Parker, so there's no real weight to the claim that he's unrelatable, so there's no real reason to replace him. And make no mistake, that is the intention behind the push for Miles Morales. It's to get rid of Peter Parker. And that too is part of the backlash, because people don't like being told to like a character, and they like it even less when the character is as bland and generic as Miles, and they absolutely hate it when you're telling them to like a character based solely on that character's race. Throughout his comic book history, Miles' sole defining feature has been his race. Nothing else about him stands out. Something easily proven by asking Miles Morales fans what's their favorite Miles Morales story. You wouldn't see people more stumped unless you asked them about their favorite part of ISOM. Even in the games, the writers struggle to give Miles problems on par with Peter's absolutely foobar life. Miles is over here like, my childhood friend sacrificed herself and I thought about killing Martin Lee. Meanwhile, Peter is like, dude, I'm responsible for the deaths of both my surrogate parents and my best friend. Keep in mind, the writers were actually trying to give Miles some conflict, and this was the best they could do. You can't make people like Miles Morales, and undermining Peter, retiring Peter, or killing him off isn't going to make people suddenly view Miles as a real Spider-Man. Peter defines what it is to be Spider-Man because he is Spider-Man. It's an extension of his personality and experiences. You can't just put someone else in the suit and go, what's the difference? The difference is that it's not the same guy. This isn't about hating Miles Morales, it's about loving Peter Parker. It's not the name Spider-Man that people like. It's the person, and that person is Peter Parker. That's who they connected with. That is who's a smart aleck. That's who learned the lesson the hard way, that with great power comes great responsibility. You can no more switch out Peter Parker for someone else than you can switch out Bruce Wayne for someone else. It's Bruce's tragedy that made him Batman. He is who defines what it is to be Batman because it's literally who he becomes after his parents' murder. The moment there's another person in the suit, it's no longer Batman. It's just someone playing the role. And for the people who have a hard time understanding this, remember, we're not talking about a character no one knows about. We're talking about one of the most popular characters in the world. You can't just swap them out and think everyone will be cool with it, especially not when the character is still popular, and definitely not when the only reason you want to do it is because the original character isn't the right race. And calling everyone racist for not liking Miles Morales isn't going to change that. Now, the irony of ironies is that Marvel could get Miles over by simply giving him his own identity and name and making him his own character instead of someone living under Peter's shadow. They had the opportunity to do that when they brought Miles from the Ultimate Universe into the regular Marvel Universe, but they didn't take it. They had the opportunity with the Spider-Verse films, but those are about Miles trying to find himself after jacking Peter's name and legacy. They had the opportunity with the Insomniac games, but those are about Miles trying to live up to Peter's legacy. If you want people to like Miles Morales, stop trying to define him based on another character's experiences. Let him be his own character with his own name, his own rogues gallery, and his own real, actually life-impacting problems, and you might just win them over. Or don't, and people can just keep telling you the obvious. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Miles Morales is Miles Morales. But what do I know? I'm just some guy. Apparently, Insomniac is going to make Miles Morales the lead.
Everyone's.
He most definitely is some guy. He most definitely is a fucking character. Derek, was you able to watch all of it?
Yeah, I skimmed through some parts. I got the gist of it though.
All right, somebody started off.
Miles is Spider-Man. It does not matter. Every universe has its own Spider-Man. Insomniac just took it and ran with it just to have both of them in the game. They saw a cash cow and they took it and ran with it, just like Disney with Black Panther. But when we look in the comics, even going back to when they had their there was a special comic that came out talking about the first Spider-Man, who was Anansi. And Anansi gave all the spiders, men or women, their powers. And in this comic book, Miles went toe-to-toe with Anansi. When him and Peter were going 2-for-1 against Anansi, Peter was getting clapped. Miles had to save him. In this game, Peter was getting clapped, and Miles had to save him. Miles bodied him when he was in the Venom symbiote suit. Miles had to help go through with Martin Lee to get Peter back to normal when Peter was still infected by the Venom. Miles has more tools to his game. Yes, Peter has the experience, but are we going hand-to-hand combat with their skills and their tools? Miles beats him by a landslide. In the game, they did it right by saying the Spider Men. Going back on it, every universe has their own Spider Man or Spider Woman. There's a Spider Gwen, there's a Spider Pig, there's Spider Bite. It does not matter. He is Spider Man. And I don't want to hear just them saying that it's because of his race that they're pushing this.
Nah, that's really like reaching OD. I feel like on his part too. Like, who's to say how many black people is there in comparison to white people in the United States alone? We're a minority. So why the fuck will we even have a say in the who's the next Spider-Man to be played? They saw an opportunity with the character that they've never really pushed in any type of animation. I believe we've probably seen a Spider Woman in animation, or probably like a Gwen Stacy in some form or capacity in the live action as well. So of course these things have always been utilized, but it's one character that they haven't really touched upon. They touched upon Spider-Man 2099. Pretty sure they got comics for Spider-Man Noir. All of
Mm-hmm.
these different Spider people, Spider-Woman, fucking Silk, fucking all of these characters have stories, and the main comic writers brought this Spider-Man specifically, Miles Morales, and specifically from the Ultimate Universe, when all of the universes collapsed and Battle World was formed from Secret Wars, and Miles Morales was one of the few things that came over from the Ultimate Universe because his story had that. Obviously, at that point in time, they probably didn't flesh it out to the point where they're trying to now, or in later iterations of the comic. But it's like it's still untapped potential, and it's still a side where yes, little black boys would be finally be able to see a Spider-Man and be like, damn, I finally see it. Y'all had how many years? 40, 50 plus years of animation of white main superheroes. We can't have one.
Yeah, the
One.
kind of
We got the Falcon. And that nigga's ass. Let's be honest.
No, no.
with the Black Panther, we got it was a couple during the like '60s. There was some characters that popped up. Like most notably, though, you're right. It's like Falcon, Black Panther.
We got Storm,
Luke Cage was an early on kind
Luke
of black
Cage,
character
but then
as
they
well.
shitted on that nigga on the Netflix series.
Yeah, they ain't do nothing good with that. But just to kind of get back on the Spider-Man point really quickly, like I do agree with both of you. My point more or less kind of stems from what both of you are saying. I'm really curious to see what the actual people who create, like, and we actually, the person who created Miles Morales is still around. Um, I really would love to know what they think about when people kind of say things like that because the thing is like yes, these certain characters that they do create, um, like they may have like a color attribute to them or like a religion or like something that is kind of recognizable or of like a larger diversity. It's happening in everything that we are doing. It's just more people we noticing like, hey, we at a time where we want more people to be more inclusive, and those things are going to pop up absolutely in comic books, right? Um, the character Spider-Man for a second. The idea of Miles Morales not being Spider-Man is like it just blows my mind so much because unless you did specifically say you wanted one specific Spider-Man or one specific character to represent Spider-Man, Miles is the best possible outcome of a progression for the Spider-Man character. Like the design, this backstory, um, the power set, everything with Miles is like you gotta understand. Like when you look at Peter Parker's Spider Man, you the story get real limited. We just really love this. We love the character, but the story in a lot of ways get limited because he only got these web shooters. He got some super strength behind him. He got his spider sense. But it's like, how many times can you really write a story saying, okay, the Green Goblin can't get past that, or Venom can't get past it, or whoever can't get past that, can't get past spider web, spider sense, and incredible superhuman strength. Them being able to expand not only, and then also you just get to the story of it. Well, Peter Parker is what I think he is Jewish, if I'm correct. I think his family's background is Jewish,
I think so.
but he like a Jewish New York City kid, white kid. It's like you just like when you just like think about these people almost if they was real people for a second. It's only so much you can do. Like it's only
Hmm.
so many narrative directions that a writer, and you got to remember it's we as fans can get mad as much as we want. You unless you can write it, unless you can write it, you really can't sit there and say like, "Oh yeah, this is bad. This is a bad iteration. This is like, I mean, yeah, you allowed to have your opinion. You allowed to have your own critique. Nobody should take that away from you. But like, tell me, make a part two to Spider-Man. Like, it's really one of the hardest characters to try to make like a remix or a part. Like, if you really sit there and think about it, Wolverine, not even that bad. Like, that's why we got Laura Kinney. Like, that's not. It's not hard. It's really not. Oh, clone, duplicate, genes, genetics, X gene. Okay, like it's kind of easy to do that. It's a lot of other characters that's like that, where it's like they really easy to just kind of have a natural progression, whether they got a love interest that makes it make sense. With Spider-Man, that's a little bit more difficult because you always have to have like that idea of Spider-Man kind of going after, or like the idea of him protecting Mary Jane is almost more important than their relationship. I feel like after what happened with Gwen Stacy, like that's like an element you can't remove from the dynamic between the relationship of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson. You
Hmm.
don't really necessarily get that with Spider-Man or with Superman. You know, you could just make a Jonathan Kent. It's kind of cool. It's mad simple. Spider-Man, I just never felt like that was the case with Spider-Man. His story is supposed to be one where it's grounded in teens. That's another thing that kind of strangleholds the idea of Spider-Man. Spider-Man's supposed to be more for kids. Like everything Miles Morales is such a one. Like to me, it's one of the better examples of like like new character slash character progression. He like a double whammy. It's both. It's like you do feel like you get a brand new character in Miles Morales as Spider Man, but you also feel like, all right, look at the character, look at the power onsets that they give. Look at the friends that they put around Miles Morales. Like look at Spider Peter Parker didn't have these things. Let's look at him be a normal kid. Let's
Hmm.
look at him just be a normal boy. And people really like like hearing them say like, "Oh yeah, everything is stripped away in Miles Morales. They just doing this for like color or stuff like that." It's like you just totally ignoring all of what this writer did. All of that natural just storytelling in regards to a new character. His mom, dude, the idea with his mom and his I think that that's great. I don't really know any iteration of that in a comic, and it feels so natural. Bruce Wayne parents dead. I don't know how it feel to have that situation. A lot of kids, there are kids that do, and it's great that Bruce Wayne can kind of be that realm, be that kind of figure for a person who maybe lost their parents, give them hope and all of that.
Hmm.
But for most people and most of these superheroes, it's like you don't be hearing about their parents passed away. To be able to have Miles Morales, where it's like you got both of his parents right there, they normal people. You could get like a realm, you get a feel from that. You got tragedy that's around that as well. So we still got like, it's still all of those elements, whether it's his uncle, however it go, it's perfect, dude. The fact of the matter is too, to be able to go from a new comic book and make so many different storylines. You got the game storyline, you got the animated movie storyline. They able to kind of have their own liberties and fun with it. That should tell you that that's a good. That should show, not tell you. That should show you that that's a good story, because a good story is one where you can make those subtle details and changes and it still end up becoming something really good. That's why if you tell me that's not true, you telling me a character like the Joker isn't true or isn't a good character. You really gonna tell me the Joker ain't a good character? Some of the same things that make Joker a good character is some of the same things that make Miles Morales a great character. Like, it's that diverse. It's the level of diversity, the level of humanity, like the level of just being able. With even when we look at the Joker, like the iteration of the original, like if we go back to like the old school Joker, going back to like even the Cesar Romero kind of envisionment of the Joker and all of that, that's a vastly different Joker than when you get to like the Dark Knight Joker, right? And that's a vastly different Joker than when you get into the new 23 Joker. Like it's always and that's you look at that and you go, okay, you don't get mad when you see those sudden changes in the Joker, right? You go, oh man, that's a new spin. That's a cool spin on the character. Even when they introduced a new like side to it with Harley Quinn, you don't get angry at that. Like, if it's a good character, which Miles Morales, to me at least, is a good character, what's the problem? I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird.
I'm not gonna lie. I low key agree with the video. I'm not too high up on Miles Morales as a character. I mean, he all right, you know. Um, and I understand people saying, "Oh, but Spider-Man can be Miles Morales. It can be Peter Parker." And I understand where Robert is coming from, saying, "Oh, but black boys can look up to this." But it's like Spider-Man's suit is to, protect his identity. If you got a suit where a nigga got dreadlocks running around the city, it's like, okay, like, so what's going on here? And to Niles' point about Peter Parker not being as interesting because you go from why can't the Green Goblin get past this? Why can't they get past just basic web shooters and spider sense? You got to understand Spider-Man's ingenuity. Well, not just Spider-Man, but Peter Parker's ingenuity, and that's something that makes him great. So if he's constantly upgrading his web shooters, the addition of the wingsuit, it's like it's not like the MCU Spider-Man where he's relying on a guardian like Iron Man for his resources. This is somebody in the comics that's doing everything on his own. So you got to understand that his rogue gallery is one of the most popular out there. So it's not just Green Goblin, it's not just Venom, it's not just Craven. You got Scorpion, you got Carnage, you got all these other great villains for Spider-Man. And I mean, in my opinion, from the game to Miles Morales game, I didn't feel like. I mean, it was a cool game to play, but it was like I didn't feel like he was a Spider-Man in a sense. And then the Peter Parker character in this game, I felt like he was going through so much. I would think you would have to close it out in the next game. Like to switch to say Miles is the next Spider-Man for Spider-Man 3. It's like, dang, so we just gonna let Peter, get his ass beat by the symbiote, get over it and all that. Like you said, now you pointed out, and Robert, that Miles was giving it to Sandman. He was giving it to all these different villains, giving it to Peter with the symbiote suit. But it's like in the next game, how you really gonna hype it up to have like what big bad does he have on a level of Green Goblin or any of Peter's Rogue Gallery's villains that's really
It
gonna hype
is.
the next game up?
This is another thing that I wanted to like combat him in the video is that all the spider people's road galleries is when you flesh it down to the meat and potatoes of it are the same. They don't switch it up.
No, you don't.
It's Green Goblin for all of them, a version of Doctor Octopus for all of them, a version of Scorpion, Rhino, all of these different characters. We've seen it with the Ultimate Universe and the main universe. We've seen it with Spider Gwen's to a certain degree because she kind of knew a vulture, but she said it was a different vulture because of how it looked. And I'm talking about the Across the Spider Verse movie. So you have all of these spider people, and I understand everybody probably just wants a new villain to see. But at the end of the day, we can't hinder or make it a negative in Miles' case if he's just doing everything that every other Spider-Man is doing in their universe, Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. Spider-Man 2099 got the same type of villains in essence, and we all know it when we see it. So I can't really say that he would need to. Plus, I think Peter. We all know that Peter's gonna come back. We all know, especially with them doing the Spider-Man one Spider-Man on the cover. Spider-Man 2. Now you got two Spider-Man on the cover. You introduce Silk, Cindy Moon at the end in the post-credit scene. Spoiler alert. My bad. At the post-credit scene. So now you're gonna have two Spider-Man and the Spider-Girl. Now you're gonna have three. And they built it up to the point in the story where Norman is gonna have an out. He's not gonna just have an out for just one Spider-Man. He said, "What did y'all do to my son?" He's gonna go after both of these niggas with everything in his power. Also, again, we was talking about it before, but I think the symbiote arc, because there's no reason why you give Peter anti venom, and he's only gonna use it for 5 to 10% of the game. 5% of the game, my bad. It's no reason that they use that or introduce that unless they have an idea of bringing that to the forefront in the next game as well. Because Miles is already, I'm not gonna lie, that nigga's wildin' in that game. That nigga's OP. They show it that way. I'm cool that they show it that way because his powers is when he uses it. I mean, he can use it for all sorts of properties and everything like that. He just got gifted with the correct powers. Silk is gonna be even crazier though, because I'm pretty sure that she shoots the webs out her fingertips, right? Or nah, that's Spider Woman.
I don't
Am I
even
bugging?
remember.
I'm not sure.
I
I'm
gotta
not
look that one
positive.
up.
I can't
Yeah.
remember. But regardless, they going. I think they're gonna bring the symbiotes back. I think they're gonna go because they gotta go above what they just did. Venom unleashed the most carnage that they've ever seen in the city. It transformed the city to almost like a web of shadows, where the symbiote was just taking all over and everything like that. They gotta go even bigger than that in the final game. We
But
all know
that's
it's
what I'm saying though. It's like you got Green Goblin, but his relationship with Peter Parker is different. It's not just like Spider-Man. It's like
yeah, most
knowing Peter
definitely.
Parker and Spider. It's like, what did you do to my son? Yeah, he could have said that to both of them, but it's like, God, like what's gonna happen when he find out Peter is Spider-Man? Like that's gonna have a different emotional pull than him fighting Miles. So I feel
Most
like,
definitely.
yeah, I mean, it's a game, it's a comic book character. I don't really care what they do with him, but I feel like you starting off with a Spider-Man game, at least get a last game to Peter Parker or something like that. That's what I would say.
But also, that's not to say that Miles won't have his own unique story because in this game he had his own unique story. He had his own unique story with Martin Lee, which I felt like was very compelling with him,
Hmm.
and in terms of him coming to grips with the person that murdered his father, just like a Uncle Ben type of tragedy. He got to come to grips with that and not go over that edge where we've seen Tobey Maguire Spider Man do, and he killed a nigga. Even if it be by accident, he still ended up dying.
Yeah,
With
it's
all of
like
these, yeah. My bad. Go ahead.
no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you good.
Derek, and yeah, that's like the one. So like one point that you made that I do like really agree with. Um, is one of the things that is a really big backbone for that Peter Parker character is his ingenuity and it's the intelligence, and I think that that's like solid and it's fine. And I love them kind of like always continuing to grow on that and tell that story with Peter and the difficulties that he faces. I'm fine with them continuing doing that. Again, I think that's one of the big things that makes that Spider-Man so great, and that's fine. But like, I do understand having a character like Miles Morales, where where you can kind of take away that one kind of singular thing that makes Peter a little, well, that makes Spider-Man in this case a little bit more vulnerable, and you can give him more traditional roles as like a superhero too. And I think that that opens up good. And then between how you can mesh the ideas of the similarity between the super or the Spider-Man, like what is similar between a Spider-Man, and then also what's different between what exists for Peter Parker and what exists for Miles Morales. I feel like honestly, I really do feel like Miles Morales helps in this new time the story of Peter Parker.
Hmm.
It just create more like variation. Like it's almost like like how Rob was saying. Okay, maybe the expectation is that as you just keep going on, you add a new villain in for Spider Man, and maybe that works. Maybe that is something that you could always kind of keep in the tuck. But is it smarter to not think? Okay, well maybe we don't have to just always create another enemy. Let's just create another hero. And yeah, this hero is a Spider Man as well, but this is a Spider-Man that's going to create more pathways to different stories. It's going to take in the actual continuity of the story, take a little bit of pressure off because I do believe that they not change. I don't know. I know they haven't changes to the Ultimates universe where Miles Morales originally came from. I know they're like currently they're doing changes to that, and I'm not sure exactly what's supposed to come out of that,
Mm.
or if that's completed. But as far as I know, it was where you had like team ups interactions with the regular Peter Parker and this as we know it in the Ultimates universe's Miles Morales, and it's like that helps. That maybe can make that could take the focus where Spider-Man can be like, hey, you go handle this and I'm gonna go in this direction. Now an angle with a Spider-Man story that might have been hard for you to, or a Peter Parker story that might have been hard for you to like get to before, you have Miles Morales helping you to get to. And then, like Rob was saying, it had how it happened in the game. It could veer off into its own direction, have its
Hmm.
own story around the character. And I don't, I just like, to me, it meshes well. Like, I know a lot of people upset. I just kind of wish that they could highlight outside of just, oh, well, it's not Peter Parker. You know what I mean? Like, I wish that it was more kind of highlighted. All right, well, what's exactly the gripes with Miles Morales? And I get that video kind of did, but to be honest with you, the video kind of give like real diet answers. It's not. I don't really. It's hard to kind of accept it fully. Like I almost need that person to go in. It's like cop out answers. It's like I need you to kind of go into more detail as to why this character is exactly bad. You can't just sit here and be like, oh, it's stripped down or this. It's like, nah. Like, what does it do bad for the story? Like,
Yeah,
I
who
don't.
pushed the story to where it went in the second game?
And with the idea of Spider-Man, where does Miles Morales? You can say the same thing about uh the Spider-Man 2099 or whatever it was, Miguel. I can't remember his full name, but you can say like
O'Hara.
O'Hara. Yeah, like what do he do anything bad for a Spider for the overall Spider-Man narrative and story? I don't really think so. It's a future Spider-Man. Okay, that's fine. Like Spider-Man in this world, I think they will want him to exist in the future. That's fine. He's Hispanic. I don't care. Like that don't change nothing up for me. He ends up being a good bridgeway between future storylines and current storylines within Spider-Man. That's a great role, and that's a great Spider-Man to me. And then I do the same breakdown when it comes to Miles Morales. I do the same thing with Spider-Woman, and even because the Spider-Woman, I really do like that version of Spider-Man too. If you count that as a version of Spider-Man, because it is so different. It's not the traditional bite. It's very interesting, and her dad had a hand in it. It's a real interesting like viewpoint on the Spider world. I don't know why these people are bad things to add. I don't know. I need more help understanding that.
So my whole thing is just a bridge off of what everybody was saying. Um, Now, is Spider-Man 2099 Spider-Man? Like in his storyline, do you hear people calling him Spider-Man 2099, or is he just Spider-Man? Because they
It's
can,
just
so to even throw that point in, they probably threw him in there just to what's the word I'm looking for, to make the count for the Spanish culture. Oh, we're throwing in Spider-Man 2099. Yeah, he's in the future. He's Spider-Man, but he's in the year 2099. He's still Spider-Man though. So why can't Miles be Spider-Man in his own universe? So when we're looking at it like in across the Spider-Verse, like granted, yes, he wasn't supposed to get that spoiler alert, he wasn't supposed to get that bug from that alternate universe, but he did. And the other Spider-Man died in the process. Now, one thing I like about Miles, just to go back off of your thought earlier, now when you said that Miles is for like pretty much the black community in a sense, black or Spanish, Miles in one universe loses his mom. Some youth lose their mom. In one universe, he loses his uncle. Some people in the black community who's close to their uncle passed away, or their father. Like in this movie, where whenever it comes back out for the third part, he's technically supposed to lose his dad, which doesn't make sense because he already had his canon event losing his uncle, which I'm still trying to get an understanding for that with that whole fight and everything. It goes hand in hand with like everyone can have their own Spider-Man. Like you can't have a fight saying, "Oh, Peter Parker's the only Spider-Man." Peter Parker had help. There's different versions of Peter Parker, like Tom Holland. He had help from Iron Man. I'm sure, like even during the animated series, Peter didn't figure everything out. He had help. Everyone has help. You gotta have it. So with this one, where Peter's actually taking a back seat going into Spider-Man 3, he said, "I'ma still help you." So they're not fully giving it to Miles. Yeah, he's gonna be the main character of that one, but it's gonna be sort of like Spider-Man 2, where Peter is still the main character, but Miles is there to help along the way. And he had his own side story. Thank God he finally got the girl. I've been waiting for him to tell that girl he loves her. Yeah. I've been waiting for the longest time. I was like, Miles, open your mouth, dum dum. She loves you. But that's neither here nor there.
She ain't gonna hear it.
Huh?
Damn. Yeah. Yo. Yo.
He did the
Yo.
he did the poop vanish too.
Ain't no fucking way. I was not expecting that one. Shit. All
You gonna be
right.
sitting there mouthing shit. She gonna be like, yeah, what?
It's, but here's the thing though. He could have said it in sign. He was signing with her game one in Miles Morales. He was signing with her in this one. It's as simple as you throw that up. That means I love you in ASL. This man said she couldn't hear it. I can't.
And then I want to.
I mean, I agree with y'all. I mean, I see where you all coming from, but I mean, we do have to understand. A lot of these dudes are like, I feel like a lot of these dudes are, comic book lovers. So you have to understand where Marvel, the MCU is coming from. They draw inspiration from the comics. So I think that's a different lens I got to look at it through too. Is like, you don't have to follow the comics necessarily and just have Peter be the Spider-Man, but at least you draw the inspiration. And I see, I sat here and thought about it because with electrical powers, you see Miles powering generators, you see him doing all of this. That does serve better in the game. I know Peter has his tech that he uses and things like that. But as far as developing story, and I see where you are going, like maybe they can build on that Spider-Verse for a game. But yeah, I just thought about it. I ain't about to get too worked up over some characters. I'm not worked up about it, but like some of these dudes are. But I see where y'all going in that direction.
Especially with the sorry to cut you off, Rob. Sorry, man. Like especially with that little bit that they threw in Spider-Man 2, like when you find all the bots, they open up the Spider-Verse, so we might actually get Spider-Man 3 with Miles actually dealing with that, because one thing that was said, oh, if Miguel comes to you about these spider bots, tell him finders keepers, we might get Miguel O'Hara in the third one fighting Miles.
Yeah.
That can be
Honestly,
expounded.
they could tie it. They could end up tying everything. I wouldn't be honestly. That wouldn't even throw me off. It probably wouldn't be what people want for like the game if it went in that direction. But if they like did kind of tie everything in, it wouldn't shock me because it kind of feel like that's what the comic book, like the Spider-Verse comic book, it felt like that. Like it's like you keep bleeding into like different areas of the spider world, you know? So if they were to take that and actually have the content almost on like a metatextual way, had the content kind of swerve into each other, whether it be video game, animated, or movie itself, which I think they did actually say that was something that they were considering doing at one point, it wouldn't shock me. It's so I like it. I hate when other characters don't have this much diversity in regards to the character because sometimes it does get like very dry. Like I was always a big fan of the Green Lantern setup.
Mm-hmm.
I never hated that. I never hated that ever. I thought it was perfect. It's like there are some stories that's really good and you needed to have Hal Jordan. There are other stories that are really good and you needed to have Jonathan Stewart. Like it just they worked that one worked well in that story. And I would not have wanted it any other way. And that again, like we had talked about it in one of the earlier shows that we did. But if you want proof of that that's successful and helpful, really look at the Green Lantern series. The Green Lantern comic is one of the longest running comics ever. It's because they can constantly do material with them being able to have those changes and progressions to characters like that. They actually like, and I really do think that's what they're trying to kind of figure out in this modern age with Spider-Man is like, can we tell stories for the next 30, 40, 50 years around these characters that's new and engaging, that's going to be bringing in different crowds and people? Like when we was kids, I always thought that Green Lantern was a white dude. So then the animated, like that, all of that stuff kind of came around when the animated series came out. And then they bring this black dude, smooth black dude with a fade as a Green Lantern in the animated series. I'm like, what is, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that ain't Static Shock. Who is that? This is like what? And that again, that we just seeing the same thing with that right now with Spider-Man. But for the people out there, that's like really again, it's just new. Whereas that stuff happened 20 years, 20 plus years ago. Even like the Guy Gardner and different people like that, the iterations of that for Green Lantern. That was 30, but we getting on 30, 40 years ago that stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
And just like with that, I just say to the people that's kind of having a hard time with characters like Miles Morales and different iterations of Spider-Man, watch what that does to the story as these times go, like as the years go on. It will do a lot of positive. Don't hate it. Try not to. Give it time. Be patient.
Mm-hmm.
The character Miles Morales is in comic book years. He kind of that's young. Like 20 years is not necessarily new. I don't even think. I think Jonathan Stewart is like 40. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the. It's kind of a new character. Give it time. Y'all might actually love this character as time go on because of the stories around it.
Oh yeah.
And then just to finalize it out, what better fucking villain to have to make both of these spider people, probably even three, all come together in order to beat him? Who is that damn diabolical? The quote unquote Joker to his Batman. Who is that nigga that when he finds out who his secret identity is, he will not stop it to the ends of the earth until he has felt the same pain that he has felt when he's seen Harry on that damn bed. That man Green Goblin is that big of a villain, and they waited specifically for this moment where he would be the one to have all of those spider people gravitate towards him because he's just that damn evil. It's the perfect way. The perfect way to blend it all in. It's the way to bring Peter back fully. He's gonna have to be back because he's gonna have people around him closest to him at the mercy of these people. I'm hoping that they go into the Parker Industries way, which I'm thinking they will with the Emily May Foundation, kind of somewhat, where I would like that. And then now his job will be in jeopardy, his job security. All of these things would be in jeopardy. And Norman is just going in here, matriculating all throughout this joint. God forbid he get the Carnage symbiote. Because at some point in time, they're going to have to face him either in the DLC or in the actual third game. It's just gonna be all hell's gonna break loose. It's the perfect combination.
But
Peter is still here.
what if we throw in like let's throw this in there. We get Green Goblin, and as the story progresses in Spider-Man 3, note Harry is still asleep, knocked out in a coma. He wakes up, Green Goblin dies, and he sees the articles that is saying to the hands of the Spider-Man. We get Hobgoblin. We can get two. We can get two. That way they can make this game longer than 25 hours of gameplay.
They gotta. I feel like they got to.
Because like you said, we get Green Goblin. He finds out the identities of both of them. He goes after them. Peter or Miles kills him by accident. We get the full article. Jay Jamison's running with that thing like he always does, with his annoying self. Harry wakes up. He sees that what has happened, or they can make it very climactic. They go right back into where Harry is sleeping. Harry wakes up and literally go up the same scene. What was it, Spider-Man 1 or 2 with Tobey Maguire? That thing jabs him in his the glider jabs him in his chest. Peter flips out the way and he wakes up. He sees that like Peter's standing in front of him while his dad's dying with that glider in his stomach.
Mm-hmm.
He gets
Yeah, I can see something.
that would be crazy. And Harry knows who Miles is, who his friends are. Literally, it would bring a lot to that story, and it would, like, honestly, they can easily clean that up. And let me go back to the whole thing. That Carnage DLC, if they're running with that, I will probably be playing that on Ultimate, because Carnage is one of my favorite villains, because he does not care about anything, nothing at all.
And y'all made me actually really think about a question in regards. This can't pertain to the games at this current moment, but you do get so much flexity in regards to the games that y'all making me like think about it. I personally have always felt like Carnage is the villain that you could use amongst like all Spider Men because of how ruthless he is. Like how it's just like it's indiscriminate to where you could put that character with any one of them and it's fine. I do kind of get a little bit more, and that's the funny part about the whole Spider-Man thing is like I feel like the way people feel about Spider-Man with Peter Parker and Miles Morales, I kind of feel with like the villains in a way. Like I don't love seeing. I can get over it, and if it's done right, I know for a fact I can get over it. I just haven't yet. But it's weird to me thinking about like Green Goblin as a Miles villain. Like, and it might just be a me thing. Like, I get that because I don't know if that necessarily needs to be a weird thing. It just still kind of get me a little bit. I'm like, something about that feel weird. But do you think Light, and this could be for another, this is probably a longer discussion for another day, but do you think that how Peter Parker had this character, not Peter Parker, Spider-Man had this character progression with Miles Morales, that Green Goblin in a way should have something like that, or somebody that kind of, like I said, Carnage is just free game to me. You can use that however you want. Any Spider-Man, it won't matter if you make 50 more Spider-Man. You can use the same Carnage for that Spider-Man. But like, do you ever get that feeling with Green Goblin or any of the other like Sinister Six villains that Spider-Man has that they should almost get a progression in the same way Spider-Man did with Miles Morales?
I think Hobgoblin can actually, not any of the Sinister Six, because you can literally throw them in any against any Spider-Man. Because Hobgoblin, the speculation was for the Tom Holland movies that his boy Ned, technically in the storyline, Ned becomes Hobgoblin. There's one where
Whoa.
Harry does. There's one where Ned does. So Miles can piss Genki off, and Genki can be Hobgoblin. So you literally they set it up where any Peter Parker best friend can be his enemy. So
And you
Hobgoblin can
can
get that.
I like that. I'm not mad.
Cause
Use
especially
Hob.
I was like reading about it. They was like, oh, Ned can be Hobgoblin, but when they did Far From Home, no, when they did what was the last one called? Wasn't Far From Home.
Oh,
No Way Home. When they did
yeah.
No Way Home, and now Ned and MJ doesn't remember who he is, then they took that away. But it was speculation that Ned could be Hobgoblin. Something could have happened. He could have took the serum, could have pissed him off. Boom. Because that even goes along with because there's a newer comic that came out with Spider-Man, like with the Hobgoblin. That Hobgoblin gene got injected into Peter in the latest comics that they had, and he was beating the dog stew out of Craven. Literally buried this man alive. But like Hobgoblin can be used for anything, any character progression, best friend, brother, sister, however you have it. And let me say this: in the game itself, what threw me for a loop, but also had me hyped for the same reason. Mary Jane as Scream. That was the greatest boss fight of that game, only because besides fighting Scream, you deal with the emotional trauma that Peter and MJ are dealing with. That's one, like, I like Peter because you see him go through things an adult goes through. With Miles, you see things that a teenager goes through. And each one of them has their issues going through this story. That's why when they say, oh, look out for the Spider-Man, when they include both of them together, I enjoyed that. It wasn't splitting them apart. It was keeping them together. I was fine with that. At the end of the day. So when someone says, oh, Miles can't be Spider-Man, that's why like it throws me for a loop. Then what's his name? It can't just be Miles because he got to have a secret identity.
Yeah.
They wanted to be Spider Kid or right.
And he matches a Spider-Man. He matches.
Arachnic Kid.
Yeah, that's the one. That's one of the names they was trying to get us, nigga.
What's the name?
Spidey.
Spike.
Ain't that
Spidey.
Spider-Man nickname though?
All of this buzz and Arachnid Kid, all of the Spider-Man is perfectly all right. Spider-Man is perfectly all right. You got Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man Noir. I'm just another Spider-Man.
I'm just saying, Spidey about to give Death Girl that.
All right. That is gonna segue into my next topic. Niggas wild.
Give us some of that.
Nah.
Yeah, you couldn't do Spidey.
Right? That's crazy.
You couldn't do
All right.
that.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna tell it. My name is D.
Yeah. You would have been signing something different. You ain't lying.
Y'all are terrible. All right, so we got somebody.
Wait, hold on. Before we get into that segue, you talk about I'm terrible. Where homie said, "Oh, she couldn't hear that." He said, "I love her."
She can't. She better develop a spider sense.
Yeah, she gonna have to use one of her senses. She ain't gonna be a hero.
Fuck.
They gonna fuck around and make her a hero.
This nigga's terrible.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that
She
she
gonna
had
be
gameplay, I'm like, yo, come on, son. Like what? Like somebody could have been behind Shorty the whole time.
Yo, you this nigga Dario.
And can anybody? Hugo, what's gonna happen? She can't scream.
This
You can't
nigga
do
is
that.
terrible,
You
bro.
can't do that. You can't do
This
that.
nigga is
You
I don't
Wait,
think
terrible.
you can do that.
did
I don't
anybody
think
you
notice
you
can't.
that the whole game was silent when you was playing as her?
Yes, that's the point.
Bruh, I was like, I literally was turning my TV up like, was it on mute or something?
Yeah, Venom could have been like, y'all see this bitch? Boom. I know y'all see this bitch.
Ah, fuck,
You imagine
man.
having a dialogue and she don't turn around and be like, yo,
We are not lasting long at all.
I ain't touching
I
none
would
of
be
it.
like, watch out.
They
He's standing
cancel
there.
the hell out of our asses. All right, fuck.
Oh boy,
Okay,
that's
And the
Jesus.
only way you can let her know is if you text her. How
Yo,
like can she feel the? Never mind.
this
Keep
is
your phone
it.
charged, bitch.
yeah, real quick.
Yeah.
Keep your phone charged. Hey, look out. I mean,
This nigga's crazy.
Ring ring. No, I had a Verizon man and his sidekick.
Holy hell, bro.
Oh,
I'm gonna shut
y'all
up. I
ain't.
have one more. I'm gonna be quiet.
Y'all hell, please keep it to
Be
yourself.
quiet.
All right.
I'll put it in the group chat later.
We got somebody that watched the Marvels that just
Yeah.
came out. We've been seeing mixed reviews on it so far, but I'm curious to see what was your thoughts on the movie. I feel like it's a decent movie, but
Can I ask
go
you, all
ahead.
right, so like I agree with you. It wasn't bad, but let me ask you this. What could have prevented that movie? Like what was good enough about that movie to prevent it from being on Disney Plus? Like
Full time.
what makes that where you go, it needs to be
Full
a
time.
Probably
like
because of the actors. I feel like they had a falling out with Scarlett Johansson because of that. Because they put her movie out on Disney Plus, if I'm not mistaken.
But the
but
thing is,
like
they
no
had
lie,
to. They had to. It was
They
COVID.
did. They did have
they
to.
ain't have they had no choice with that. And B, once it did get on there, I'm not gonna lie to you. Perfect place for it.
The movie was
Like
fire. Like I like Black Widow. It was fire.
yeah, it was fine. It's again that's the same way I feel about this movie. It's like it's fine, but like you gotta understand, people be coming to the movies with like it's not us. It's gonna be the people who gonna make up the most of those tickets. That's gonna be just general viewers, and they do not like they expect in game and like in my and maybe their expectations is too high. But I'm just starting to realize because I go to these things and it don't be that bad to me. But I'm trying to kind of try to understand these things from the more like casual fan and viewer, and I'm like that's the one thing that I am feeling like all right, bro. Like between Thor. It's just the ones that came out recently too that really made me feel this way. Thor, what was the other one? Ant-Man, and then now this Marvel's one. It's just kind of like people. I can understand where people like this. Is not what I'm expecting from Marvel at the theaters. Like I'm expecting a lot more,
Well, that
and Marvel is kind of fit right in that bag to me. Now I will say this: I really like Kamala Khan. I might be alone in that. I really might be alone in that, but I really like her as an actress. Y'all, like Rob, I don't know if you felt this way, but when I was watching the movie, the whole time I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, they gonna need. I kept saying two sentences like over, like back, right, following each other. It would be this first one would be they need to figure out what they gonna do to replace Sam Jackson because his like he just too much of a presence in the MCU for that to just like that's actually a big that's a big thing. Like he even though his character like Nick Fury isn't Icarus or somebody doing some fantastic stuff, his character is just like he make movies so much better for the MCU. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it's just the whole feel and everything. Like that's gonna be a real big problem when he leave. And then as soon as I would follow that up, I was like, man, the Kamala Khan actress though, she really is like the scene kind of be like, I ain't gonna lie to you, Brie Larson is really dry to me.
Mm-hmm.
She's super dry. Like she just like it's certain scenes, it's kind of awkward until you have another actor say their lines because of Brie Larson's like role, like scene preceding that. It's just kind of like she fine. It's nothing like she. You could keep her as Captain Marvel. It's fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But she just like you better have. We don't need no more Miss Captain Marvel movies because if it's just her, it's too dry to me. You can't do another movie like that. She just don't work. It's too in that sense. It doesn't work. She's way too dry. But then when you take a person like Kamala Khan's character, now it's like putting some seasoning
See,
on this Miss Marvel, on this whole Marvel's characters. Like this actually got this is she makes the scene. She brings more to the scene. She like you looking at that character like I want to know what that character going to say next. Whether it's again it's just how she is. Brie Larson don't make me feel that way. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate to say it. I like Monica Rambeau. I like the character who plays her. That's all fine. I think she matches for like that Spectrum vibe. He kind of like Brie Larson too, bro. She don't. It ain't enough.
really,
They need to. Nah, yeah, it just ain't enough. Like it's they could figure it out, and this is the first time that this character been in that like big role. You know what I mean? Like that movie role. So I'm not going to put too much judgment on the character in that since this is the first instance, but like they gotta like the female characters. It's nothing wrong. I don't have a problem with the female characters. It's just like the writing and certain things that they do around the characters. They just really need to sit down and figure out before they do another movie. They need to sit down and figure out how to do it right. I'm feeling like Echo. Maybe they needed it to be like a mature rating or something. Because I'm feeling like Echo might actually be what I'm personally looking for out of like a female character. It just sucks because it's not a female character that like I really know about or care about like that. Like I don't know anything about Echo, but it was an okay movie. It was okay. The things that I liked about the movie: Kamala Khan, Sam Jackson, Nick Fury. Um, they lean back into some of those same dumb humorous things that they did in Thor that people did not like. I like those things, but I know if more people, when more people go to see this movie, they not gonna like certain elements, certain parts of it. They not gonna enjoy it. So like Rob, you'll know what I mean. You saw it, so you'll know what I mean by this. But like the kitty part, I don't. A lot of people are not gonna like that part. Like a lot of people, I could tell whenever they watch it, are not gonna like that part because that was the same type of stuff that was happening in Thor. And maybe you could say Guardians of the Galaxy, but Guardians of the Galaxy does it right.
see, now to piggyback off of it, like let's step away from the Marvel movie. When you
Mm-hmm.
said you like Kamala Khan, I'm with you on that one. A lot of people didn't like her series on Disney Plus. I enjoyed it.
Me
It was
too.
something new. It was something fresh. It gave me a teenage review. I haven't had like one of those type of shows in a long time, and it wasn't dry. You had something. You learned a little bit more about Kamala Khan as a person. That's one thing I wanted to know more about her. Her family, like the ties, how those bracelets go back years. It
Mm-hmm.
gave me Shang Chi vibes
And
with
they
the
kind of
rings.
keep that going. And
Yeah.
they kind of keep that going in this new movie, so you'll be happy to hear that because they kind of make those rings like, oh, these even older than we thought. Like they kind
Mm-hmm.
of push it into that level. So you'll enjoy that part. And like, see, you like Kamala Khan, so you'll probably enjoy this movie to an extent because like again that character kills it to me. That
Mm-hmm.
character like she's still the scene. Like I again the only thing that we had before was her own series, so you
Yep.
can't really say it for that. But like seeing how it translated into the movie, I'm like, man, this is she. Y'all gonna have to do a lot of things on her, like around her. And Rob at the end of the movie, you know how she had that Samuel Jackson scene? I'm gonna just say that she had
I
that
did not
Samuel
watch the
Jackson
movie.
scene. You didn't see it?
No, you didn't
Nope.
see it.
Nobody saw it. Nobody else
No,
saw it.
I was
Okay.
I was gonna try and see it today, but I'm not taking my son to the
Man,
movies.
drop
Oh,
the spoilers. I don't care. Do
okay.
you care? Do you care, Terrence?
Yeah. Do y'all find if y'all want me
Nigga,
to
I
give some
watched the spoilers already. I don't care about this movie.
Uh, I care about the movie, but you can go ahead and say it. Like spoilers
I'll
don't
be
bother
like,
me
it's
unless it's the Spider-Man game.
got you. I'll be light too with that. So it's really not that big of a thing. But at the end of the movie, they have and this is a light spoiler alert. But at the end of the movie, they do this scene with Kamala Khan that is the same scene that we essentially saw from what was that? The original Iron Man with Samuel Jackson, where he's like, "Hey, I'm trying to get this team together."
Mm-hmm.
And they do the same scene, but they replace Samuel Jackson with Kamala Khan for it, and like she's doing that whole spiel, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, yeah, like they don't know what they're doing, and this girl, I know it sounds crazy to elevate this girl like that, but she need to be a face like that
Yeah.
because the other actors and actresses, they just not.
See,
Brie, like this girl is better than Brie Larson.
that's what
She
Yo,
is.
threw me. Like
I
honestly,
ain't
that's
gonna
what.
cut you off now. I heard that they were saying like since she's like a fan, like she was a fan of Marvel, and they was like you could see that in her performance. Like they was like she was the one that was actually excited to actually be acting and doing this shit. It was like everybody else, like you said, was giving a dry performance. Like
It
Monica
kind
Rambeau,
of.
they said her performance wasn't all that, and they said like you said, Brie Larson, like she always just stale. I'm not gonna
It
say
just
always stale, but as Captain Marvel, her performance is not all that.
bro, it don't matter what she do. I'm sorry, it's sad, but like in this movie, it proved it. They got her dancing. How you dance with nothing? She was dancing. I'm like, how you dance with no like nothing?
Well, she
She
need a little.
was
She need
dancing
to
like
add a little seasoning to that dance. It was a little bland, huh?
Oh,
and she like it was so bland. And then they got her singing over it. I'm like, you can't you singing. You singing. She looked like she looked angry while she's singing. It's like I just don't get like her like and listen, it's to be honest with you, I'm gonna be a buck with you. Listen, I'm gonna be a buck with you. I'm not mad at Brie Larson being Captain Marvel because Captain Marvel always came off a little bit with that lesbian dyke energy to me a little bit. And to be honest with you, Brie Larson with this little deadpan whole attitude and energy she got, it kind of matches it. It do. Just stop giving her like stop making a whole movie with her in it. You could keep the character as that. Just don't. And that's why I think they realized it a little bit with having this Marvel's movie with having it be somebody that kind of bail Brie Larson out and bail that character out. But now all that showed me was Kamala Khan need to have the reins.
Yeah.
It need to go to her, bro.
Well,
None of these other. Mhm.
they setting up Young Avengers though, so they're
And that's
pushing
going,
her.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And this movie shows it. That's what they go into is that.
but that's what kills me when you said the girl that's playing Monica Rambeau,
Hmm.
full
The
time.
fact that she is, yeah,
When you said she's like very dry and bland, just like Brie Larson, it threw me for a loop because she did real well in WandaVision.
it
She
wasn't
did
like,
really well
yeah,
in WandaVision. People don't like that series. I actually loved it.
I love Wanda.
Like some of these
It she
some of
was
these
not. This
shows,
was
it's
not.
like,
She was not like WandaVision. She was not like WandaVision. And I
hmm,
don't know whether it was the writing. It that's why I say I don't want to judge her too much because it could have just simply been the writing that they had. Um, what was kind of cool is we finally got to have this discussion between her, and that was the whole pretty much her. Like I hated that too a little bit though, but her whole role in the movie was so y'all gonna meet up now and finally like hash y'all business out. And it was fine. I mean, we needed to have that because they kept dragging it like, oh, she's the kid that was in the Captain Marvel movie and she hasn't seen Captain Marvel. And when are they gonna talk? Like, I'm glad they got it done. I'm glad that they were able to finally get that part done. But making so much of the character's role in the movie around that when we already seen this character with mad more energy, mad more
hmm,
like character period in WandaVision, like you know that it could have been better. And then the way that they ended it is fine. I like it, but because of everything that I just said for Monica Rambeau, I kind of hate it because I'm like, timeout. Y'all give a lesser performance from the character, and then as y'all know from the the post. Well, Terrence, did you see the post credit scene yet?
No, I haven't heard about it. I'm trying to stay away from
I'm
because
gonna
the
be mum.
post
I'll be
credit.
mum on that. I'll be mum on that. But basically, what
You know what?
happens
Say
at
it.
the
Say
end?
it. Might as well say it.
Well, I'm gonna still kind of make it spoiler free for you because it's a part in there I don't want to spoil for you if you haven't
No,
found
go
out
ahead and
about
say
it.
it. I'll be fine. Go ahead.
Drop that shit.
Okay, okay. So at the end of the movie, and I hated this. They took Monica Rambeau out of the 616, basically, as we know it. Like we will end up finding that we are going to learn more about what happens to her because of the direction that Marvel is going to go.
He got
But
sent
between
to
the
the
Jonathan
other
Major,
shit.
hmm,
She got sent to the other shit
yeah.
from where
So
Doctor Strange was and Wanda.
yeah, she got sent basically to that world, and
No.
I'm cool with that. Like I said, I like it for the Marvel world, but I kind of was disappointed while
That's what they
watching the
meant by
movie.
they set up Secret Wars without. Bro,
Yeah,
I read
yeah.
that article and it didn't really fully explain it, but I'm like, how?
Yeah, they send her. She's not gonna be like in that main MCU world, but whatever is gonna set up, like what is to come for Secret Wars or whatever. Now Monica Rambeau is 100% gonna be like in the
In it.
forefront of that because when we see, and this is the big part of the post credit scene, Terrence, is when we see her in the Doctor Strange universe. We see her mom, who was kind of taking on that role of what was that? She was Captain Marvel in the Doctor Strange. Her mom was, or the kid, the actress who played her mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Doctor,
So,
yeah, she's Captain Marvel.
yeah, so we see her as that, and then we also see Beast from like the X-Men, like the legit classic Beast. Yeah.
Wait. Is this the Fox Beast or we get a new Beast?
Rob, help me out with this one. It's not Seinfeld Beast.
It's not Kelsey Grammer.
It has
Yeah,
to be the
it's not
beast from that. I don't. Well, are you talking about the
first
actor?
class. It would have had
Yeah,
to been
but
like
she,
first
but
class.
Nah,
Wait, is
bro.
that Beast?
it's not Nicholas Holt though. It's not
No,
Nicholas Holt, and it's not
I think
Kelsey
it's a new
Grammer.
beast. I think it's
Is
a
it a
new.
It's
new beast?
gotta,
It's a new beast. It's the beast from that universe. From that universe that Doctor Strange and Wanda was
Okay.
in,
I
where
ain't
they
gonna
killed
hold
all of
you.
those people.
Bro, I ain't gonna hold you. If y'all watch like the damn, y'all ever watch the anime X-Men?
Yeah.
yeah.
It kind of I fuck with this beast because it did look different, but I just didn't know whether they were going to consider it. You know how like when they go to a different movie, they can't make it look exactly the same.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
didn't know the way that I thought it was that it was the Fox Beast, but I haven't. I just saw the movie today, so I'm not sure. But I ain't gonna hold you. The design and in the little video that I had saw of it, it don't do it justice. Like the beast that I'm like, yo, I don't know, but I want to see more. I like what y'all did. Like he just is smooth. He almost looked like the animated beast. Like he looked like
Mm.
you know how like with the Seinfeld that was Kelsey Grammer beast, right? Like with him, they kind of linked a little bit more on the intelligent, and he was less kind of like savage looking and was
Mm-hmm.
more like professional and clean. Nah, this one he got so like he got the professional scientific look, but they didn't remove his like animalistic aspects and features.
Mm.
If you ever seen like Dark Beast and like the run for Dark Beast in the comic book, it remind me of like the B side of Beast in Dark Beast, like in the whole Dark Beast run. It's man, that made me so excited. Like if they gonna bring this like Wolverine with the suit back, and I'm gonna also possibly see that beast as well.
Mhm.
Yo, but like you said, Niall, I just read this article. It was voiced by Kelsey Grammer, the beast that was in that Hugh Jackman universe, but it just
Okay.
didn't look the same because he ain't had that James Brown perm shit. He had like the actual beast like
Yeah,
hair.
he looked
So that's
like
why
he
Mm.
looked.
it was looking like CGI-ish a little bit, but they said he did voice him because he said he wanted to come back and play that character again. But
It did look a little CGI. I did notice that, but it was kind of that CGI look where it's kind of forgiving because you look at like you so just kind of like wow, like that really looked like how I would want the character to look. It didn't look like they like were like this looked like this was for me. Like they made this character look like how like I feel like I'm watching an animated come to life a little bit more than I did with the Kelsey Grammer or like the other iterations. I kind of always had a bug to pick with Beast. I didn't like how they always did the character design in the live actions. it was fine because I felt like the actor that played the character Beast always killed it. So it didn't like it wasn't that big of a deal. But now to have this look more defined and like and Derek Kelsey Grammer playing that was a good Beast. I thought at least if I remember correctly. I got to
Yeah,
go back and
that was back in 2006 for the Last
yeah.
Stand.
That I kind of like that version of the Beast too. I like the actors of the Beast.
So
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
I thought that was a good version of Beast, but he does want to come back. I don't know if he's gonna be doing like he should be doing the makeup, but he's 68. I mean, he ain't too old to be
Jeez.
doing all that shit.
Maybe just go CGI. I mean, it's when y'all see it, see how y'all feel about it. Because again, the videos you see on YouTube, they
No, don't go
because it's so
CGI.
much
Hell no.
CGI, and that's the thing. Because it's so much CGI, those videos taking a lot away from it.
Hmm.
Whereas, like when you see it either in the movie theaters or you see it on like Disney Plus, where it's got the true quality, see how you feel at that part. Because I could see somebody saying I don't like the CGI on it, it just didn't do that for me. But I could, like, I'm not gonna lie, I could see where somebody might hate it. It just, for me, it just, I always look at the coolest beast being like Dark Beast and the anime beast, and he had that look to me, so it resonated to me. But it might not for everybody because it is a little. I think they're gonna go CGI for the beast, Derek. I don't. I think
No,
the voice may be somebody, but it's gonna be like something like Groot, where
no,
it's
they can't go
CGI.
CG. Beast, you can't go CGI, bro. It's gonna
You
look
might
too
be
cool.
disappointed. You might be
No,
disappointed.
they not gonna do
see,
that shit, bro.
my whole thing is this leads into like my thoughts on the next Deadpool movie because from what I was reading, they were going to go with I believe they're going to go with a Deadpool kills the universe type of ordeal, but Deadpool kills the Fox universe because
Hmm.
you get Hugh Jackman back in like the original Wolverine costume. We're supposed to get Pedro back. We're supposed to get. They said Wanda's supposed to come back and fight somebody. It might be Jean Grey. We might get Magneto
That'll be
from the
cold.
original X Men and might get Homie back, even though he got his head cracked in what was it 626 when Wanda
Hmm.
went in there and bodied him. He might be coming back. Patrick Stewart. So the way they setting up, we might actually get like Deadpool might actually set up more Secret Wars in a sense, because
He will.
if they play that right, we could see Monica Rambeau come back at the end of that one. Where like they
Right.
could answer that question, but the thing that sucks though, that is the only Marvel movie we are getting next year. That's the only one.
Yeah.
There's
No, that's
no
Yeah.
What
great.
is Deadpool?
No, that's great.
just Deadpool. It's only
That's
one.
great.
That ain't
That's
great.
Good.
great.
We need a break
Yes.
from these niggas.
They
I'm gonna
yeah,
say,
they
I
really
think they
do need
need.
a break.
Well,
I
no, no,
no,
no.
but I agree with Terrence. It sucks, but I do think they need to slow down for a second.
But my thing is, at least because they were force feeding us like for a year. I can
Exactly.
understand. Give us two. Do one during the
Nah,
summer, one during Christmas time. We that
nah.
that,
Mm.
that
You
I
gotta
can do that.
you gotta go from the
I
one
like that.
extreme to the other extreme to even it out, and then y'all could do it. Once y'all get this year under y'all belt, now the writer strike is done. Now the actor strike is done. Now you could get the supreme top talent from a writing perspective and from a talent perspective on the big screen. You need both of them shits. They can't cut corners like they did before. Kevin Feige is going to need his hand in all of these projects in order to see them start to build something even bigger than Endgame.
Now, when do you think we get the next Spider-Man movie?
I'd
That's
say
that's actually.
three
I think that
three
movie
years.
is really important now. Like I think
Beyond the
that movie.
Spider Verse will that movie literally my here's my other theory before we move on further, because I know we've been hanging on this like the Marvels and all this stuff for a minute. I can see them if they do Beyond the Spider Verse right. I see this because this can set up the next trilogy of Spider Mans. This can lead. They can actually bring the game to fruition. Maybe use some of that stuff for the next three Spider Man movies, and this can set up more of the Young Avengers that we're supposed to get in the future. At the end of Beyond the Spider Verse, Miles falls into the Spider Verse again. He wakes up. Oh my goodness, where am I? He sees his hands, live action,
Hmm.
and then he sees Spider Man webbing in the back, like through New York City, and it's our Tom Holland.
Mhm.
That if they set that up perfectly for an ending cutscene where he falls in, leaving us thinking we're getting a cliffhanger, but it sets us up for Tom Holland Spider Man for the
Black suit
next trilogy,
with the black
and
suit.
then we get the black suit, and then Miles gotta fight him, and it leads to this Spider Man giving
Ooh-wee.
us Miles in our universe, our MCU universe, where that sets up Secret Wars also. Because he was a pinnacle part in Secret Wars, Miles was.
It was
Yeah.
low
Yeah.
key.
That's the way they
No,
gotta do it. That's the
the
way they
funny
gotta
part
do it.
is, I think that you might be on something just because going back to when we were talking about the Spider-Man conversation, I was saying, or I don't know if you heard me say this earlier, but like they're bringing the idea of like the Marvel universe in the comic book because during the Incursion event, like that whole thing was supposed to kind of be dissolved, and then we got all of the characters that we had wanted to stick from wherever. We just brought them into the main universe, and now they got the Ultimate Universe's version of uh, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards. They got him kind of tweaking things and trying to recreate that Ultimates universe. And I was reading a little bit on it, and they were saying like they one of the first people that the Ultimates Reed Richards had went to was Miles Morales, and they were saying like yeah, like we were setting this up for him to have a larger kind of like part in the universal side between the Ultimates universe and like the regular universe.
Mm.
And I'm just sitting there like hearing you say this, and I'm like, yeah, they did use Miles in Secret Wars too. And the fact that they starting to use him again in that same like universal kind of landscape where it's like, yeah, he is helping to kind of prevent universal problems from occurring again in the comic books so far after Secret Wars ended, so quickly after the game that's having to deal with multiverses as well just came out. Somewhere that's gotta kind of fit in. Like what you saying, I don't know, like that it'd be kind of a wasted. It'd be wasted for me to me in my eyes for them not to, especially when you can already take it from the instances of it that's happening in their own storylines, such as the game or such as the animated movie. It would be. I like that as an idea, and I think it would be smart.
So
But you see how they go with
my
this.
my question is this though to all three of y'all, and I'm gonna get my answer after. Who should play live action Spider Man? Well, Miles
Miles
For
Morales.
Morales.
Miles Morales,
Yeah.
I've been thinking about this for quite some time. The only logical conclusion that I can always come up with, no matter the age, as of this point in time, is Jaden Smith.
Mm.
I can't see anybody else. I don't know any other younger black teenagers, black with the Hispanic heritage specifically. There might be some actors out there, most definitely, but it's gonna be somebody up and coming. It's not gonna be somebody that we know.
Oh no, I
It's
got
got to be some new nigga. It cannot be no Jaden Smith.
nah. I got somebody for y'all.
I really
Who?
don't know.
Who do you got, T?
Caleb McLaughlin.
Hell no.
What do you
Let me
mean,
look.
bruh?
Hell
Who is
no.
that?
Yeah.
Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things? Hell no.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about.
Hell no.
Nah, son, perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely not.
Why?
How
Why?
Hell
old is he?
no.
Why?
I can't see it. I can't
Why?
see it at all.
I can't see that
I
either.
can't see it at all.
Why is that? Because he's too dark. There's a lot of Spanish dark dudes.
I can't see it
No, I
at
just
all.
don't see him as Miles Morales.
Yeah,
They
no.
show literally they. Let me see if I can find it.
I can't see it. I see Jada Smith bordered. I see Caleb McLaughlin. No cap.
It ain't a
Nigga
lot of like
Jaden
lighter.
got the build. It's not. And I feel like it just got to be a up and coming type of dude, somebody that we don't know, a fresh and up and coming
My
face.
okay, but time out. Y'all gotta understand, like to Terrence's point, which like he do kind of bring up a good point in that it's like you gotta understand if we gonna do a Miles, it's not like we could just go get somebody that's gonna look like the perfect little Hispanic black mix
Yeah, that's true.
kid that's gonna be able to do it. Like you gotta just find people that's good actors that's gonna be able to just bring life into the role. It's one of those
So
things. It's
what if
like
they brought in a nigga that was Asian and he was
I mean, but
adopted?
that wouldn't be in the narrative. That wouldn't be fitting the narrative of Miles Morales though. Like if you get a
You said
black
what,
dude, that'll fit the narrative of Miles Morales.
bro? It's not about color. He can be an Asian nigga adopted by some Hispanic and black people.
His name gonna be Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Bro, nah. You just need
They
like
picked him up.
My
They
whole
could be
thing
like, yo,
is,
they be like, we picked this nigga up from the Philippines. They got them Hispanic last names.
bro. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
just if y'all
You're
could
not
just take a
lying.
look, just take a look at the like this one picture I see. I can see it.
I
can see it.
guess.
not
I
that.
guess.
I don't.
His
You can
face
see
look too
anything
old
with
for
fan
me
art.
now.
Bruh.
His face look too old for me right now, man.
Bro,
Too old.
homeboy that voices him in Spider Verse is
Yeah,
like, oh, I can play him, bro. No, you can't.
absolutely
Yeah.
not. No,
Yeah.
he really can't play that nigga.
Mm-mm.
It's a dub.
It
Nah,
low key
it's
gotta be it gotta be like a Rico Suave type nigga
It
though.
gotta be, bro.
You
It
can't
gotta
have like
you know any
understanding with Miles being Hispanic and black and from New York City, he gotta have some type of swagger. He
You
can't be
gotta
no
have
fucking
some
bro.
swag.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if there's a Dominican, like black Dominican actor out there that is acting right now, sure. I just don't know one. No teenage or in that teenage age range that's done anything that's Dominican.
It
They
gotta
be
be
I see.
perfect.
Smokey.
I seen somewhere they said Miles Brown from Blackish.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah,
I
I
might
gotta look this
lean
nigga
towards that
up.
a little bit more. I might
Nah,
lean towards that a little bit more. He
nah.
has like the body set. He has the
color.
face.
You on
He
color.
looks like because he has to be a teenager. He can't be close to Peter's age.
He
That's-
18, yeah, I see.
He
I can
gotta
see
be. He
that.
gotta be close. I can most definitely see that him as a high schooler. 18-year-olds always play high schoolers, brother. This ain't
Bruh,
nothing
I can
new.
see Caleb McLaughlin playing a high schooler.
Hell no, that nigga looks old. He has a mustache, bro. This is
He can
dumb.
shave.
You acting like he can't shave that mustache, bruh. If I shave my mustache and my beard, I look 12. Literally.
Nah, nigga.
Oh, I'm not
Nigga
gonna
look-
lie. The boy from Blackish do look that he do kind
That
of got.
nigga look immediately like someone I could think that would play Miles Morales.
What does he look like today though? Because that show been on for a while. He might not. Let me see what he look like today.
I think he got some face right now too.
Yo, you can't say that to Rob because remember that nigga in Spider-Man 1, Flash, played by Joe Manganiello,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
in the Tobey Maguire, but that nigga was 24 playing a high schooler.
Jesus Christ. Toby Maguire
They was all
old
in
as
their
shit
20s
playing
though,
Peter.
because Mary Jane didn't look like no high schooler.
Toby Maguire was old as shit in that high school, nigga.
Tobey Maguire like 47 right now, bro.
But nah, after what
Some
they did with
people
Tom Holland, I feel like they're going to stick more to the younger side. Because Tom Holland was like, I believe, early 20s when he first started Spider-Man.
Yep.
He
had
gonna
He
that-
still act like he's 16 though.
That's exactly what I was about. I was about to say, bro. He gonna have to grow up, especially if they bring in a mind.
No, he is. No, he is.
Like
That's
bro,
what the
in
Black
every way
Suit
though,
is.
he gonna have to get some bass in his voice a little bit.
That
He
nigga,
gonna have to get some muscle.
that nigga ain't got nobody to fall on support,
You
man.
know, Zendaya waiting for it. I know
He
Zendaya
got
waiting
to.
for it. She like, I'm waiting for them to get you to college and Spider-Man. They tell you to go to the gym.
That nigga
Nah,
got a
nah. Did y'all hear about that new movie? She gonna be in that tennis movie?
I ain't
Yeah,
watching.
freak
Nah.
bitch.
Yeah, he about to hit the gym because of that.
Yeah, yeah. She did that. Like, listen, we missing out on this Spider-Man bag. If you don't grow up a little bit, you can't be this teenager role this whole time.
They
You gonna
both
have
play
to-
teenage roles. Though. What we talking about? They both can't act. If you ask me, she can't act no way.
What? Nah, man. Don't hate on Zendaya, son.
Man, she
Man, fuck Zendaya.
Damn.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
This nigga Derek teed up today, bro.
Yeah, for real.
This man
No,
woke up from his
Stephon
nap.
Diggs. Stephon Diggs got me hot.
This man woke up from a nap and he was on 10. He was ready to fight today.
Yeah, nigga said
Boy,
I need 30
yeah,
points
yeah.
from one player. Is crazy,
Yeah, bro,
boy.
it be
Bro,
like that.
CeeDee Lamb got Ali 39 points. I need Diggs to show me why he's Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Alright.
Yeah.
So that was what was that? The Marvels review. We was all over the place. Alright,
Yeah.
so since we on Marvels, we finished it up with one last Marvel thing. Loki ending. How did
Yeah.
y'all feel about it? Quick
Glorious
thoughts real
purpose.
quick. Quick thoughts real quick.
Glorious
I-
purpose.
I think it was a beautiful thing. I think they setting up some. I think what they're doing right now in the MCU, I can't be mad at it. because they just building the foundations. Obviously, it's not the quality of an Iron Man. It's not the quality of a Captain America as of this point in time right now. But the foundations that they building, I'm not gonna lie, is pretty dope. You got Loki, King of the Stories now, God of the Stories. My bad. Now he's holding the multiverse together, and then at some point in time, I believe he's gonna be Avenger Prime. He's gonna get all the multiversal Avengers together, let them
Mm-mm.
know what's going on.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and then
Mm-mm.
help them fight Doctor Doom
Did you see
at the
his
end.
latest interview?
Nah, he already said it would be foolish of people to think that I'm not playing Loki again.
He said he is retiring. He said it on Jimmy Fallon.
No,
He said it.
he, the nigga it just came out with a new quote said it would be foolish of
Yeah,
people
but
to think that it would
he
be the
might do
last
that
time.
time off. The thing though you gotta remember is even if they say like if they flirt with the idea of retirement, you gotta understand like if they want to break right now, which he might actually want to break because his run is he been
14
faithful to the
years.
MCU.
14
Yeah,
years.
he been faithful. So if he regardless, he taking a break right now. Like it's gonna go on break mode. And I was thinking about it in terms of how Terrence, when we was texting about it, how you had said it. I kind of been thinking about that since you said it. When you look at Loki, it really is a great finale for the character. Like I kind of don't want them to mess with it for that reason. But we do know that there is still that connection with Kang that is kind of left open from that ending. Like you still could use Loki because he is right there in the middle of all of the crap.
Mm-hmm.
So you absolutely can. But I do kind of agree that man, I think sometimes I think actors be looking at the characters that they love and play, and they sit. You gotta like remember they human too. They might be looking at it like I'm not messing with that. I fell in love playing this character, and that's a great way for that character to go. And I don't want to do no more. I'm not feeling that, or I at least want to wait till y'all come to me with a better story before we just upend all of that. And when something like that happens, I think that is fine. But then you just run the risk of the character getting wiped out by a real like either off scene or just by something that you really don't love. And I just hope that that doesn't happen. Like they have to continue the Loki storyline, having a break with the Loki character. So you just got Kang annihilate that whole little tree that he started. I don't want something like that. I hope it just don't go that route. But man, it was beautiful. That was
My
beautiful.
man walked through. Put it all together.
Yeah, just brought it, just stringed all the lines together. And then the thing is, I wasn't expecting that to be as visually pleasing as it was. Like Loki had the space stuff kind of down a little bit, but like
Mm-hmm.
nothing. And most of the series was held up on the fact that that was some of the best writing we seen from the MCU. I can at least say for Disney Plus era.
So
That might easily be the best from Disney Plus era.
my thing is, I love this season finale. Like I told you guys already earlier. There's two scenes that I really loved in this finale. The one between Loki and He Who Remains. Best dialogue ever between them two. Besides Jonathan Majors killing it on the last episode of season one when they met up with He Who Remains. But when they broke down and he's telling Loki there's nothing you can do. That temporal loom is not it's just a failsafe. It doesn't matter. My sacred timeline is going to stay. Whatever you do is not going to like stop it. Nothing's going no, like I win, you lose. So you can keep going around this whole circle. And once Loki went back, like after that scene, and he went back and talked to Mobius and had that full breakdown when they first initially met, and he actually wanted to get it was like an answer he was looking for that led to
Yeah.
him getting his glorious purpose. And I'm not gonna lie, those two scenes right there, I teared up a little bit because it was the full breakdown of everything. And he's like, I'm gonna let you know who I am, and he broke that down of who Loki was, what Loki wanted. I was like, that was two of Tom Hiddleston's best scene out of his 14 years of doing Loki. Nothing
Yeah.
can
No, I
top
agree
that.
with that.
That's why when they gave him his final moment when he's walking through and grabbing the strands of the multiverse and powering it up and turning it into that tree. That was the cherry on top of that Sunday. That was the cherry on top of that Sunday because I can't see him topping those two scenes going forward.
Yeah, like I ain't gonna hold you. It was the acting was so well that I don't want anything to sour this. And I do agree with you. Those two scenes were, I'll go even a step further. Like that was some of the best dialogue between anything that we've seen in MCU to me. It was it was structured very well. It finally they were finally able to take. I was trying to understand all of the theatrics with Kane. Why does this character have to be like this? Like, is this just the Jonathan Majors spin? Like, why is this character like this? And Terrence, when that scene came, when He Who Remains at him sat, and he was like, "Oh, you get it now?" And he was like, "So now did we talk before? Oh, this our first time? Is this our first time? Oh, so you don't like when they had that whole part?
Mm-hmm.
I was like I had the wire meme, like the I hadn't
Mm-hmm.
hit one of them because none of none of what Kang has been doing for me personally. And sometimes I'm late to things, so like I don't I'll just leave it be. I won't say much on it until I can kind of get more because I'll be a little slow to some things like that. And with him, it was like that. It's like I don't like, bro. All of I hated Kang, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. Then he got in trouble, and I hated him more. I'm like, this ain't good for me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be feeling this way about a character in the MCU. Like I genuinely hated him because I just couldn't understand. I couldn't get. I'm like, what is this? And then you get the Victor Timely character, and it's like that's not helping. Like none of that helped me at all.
See,
But that final scene, that final one with the character, and it's like, oh, this man is sinister. Like he really is. Like this is almost like Joker sinister in a way, but it's not. It's his own thing.
and
It's unique.
the bad part is though, you thought he was a coward in season
Yeah,
one because he
right,
said, I came here, I hid, I'm at the end of time. I came out on
right,
top. But then
right.
you see at the end the full breakdown. He's like, it doesn't matter. Even though I'm dead in your timeline, I'm still alive and I'm holding this down. It doesn't matter what you do.
And I felt like it was hopeless. Like I never had the character. Like when I see the Joker makes Batman in certain scenes, especially like during the Dark Knight trilogy. You saw all throughout that Dark Knight movie with Heath
Mm-hmm.
Ledger. He put Batman in these scenarios where it's like I'm watching it as a viewer and I'm like, oh, he can't get out of that. I don't know what he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna do. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What is? I feel helpless as you feel helpless, as the character feel helpless. That's good, right? When
That
you feel as helpless as that character does, and they hit, I got hit with that when I was with Loki. Like at one moment, Loki had stood up and started walking around. I was almost about to start standing up and walking around with him too. Like, bro, if you go back, there ain't nothing you could do. You can't do this. You can't go over here. You could kill Shorty, but that's like killing yourself. That's a hard thing to ask a person to do. Yo, go kill yourself.
well, that's
Okay.
that's the
Like,
thing. That like your thought on the whole Heath Ledger Joker, that was perfect because Joker let them in, like either you can save this one or you can save these hundreds or 150
yeah.
people. Now with
And
Loki,
it's
he hit him with the you can save all these people in this multiversal timeline, or you can save your girl. And I don't want to say kill yourself because honestly, he loved himself. He loved
yeah, it
that.
was yeah.
He loved her
It
too
was
much.
yeah, but it was like a loving yourself but also loving and I kind of like how they did that angle. I'm like this is really awkward and weird. Like is this you loving another woman or is this you like loving yourself? It's
It was
kind of like
it wasn't just her though too. It was all of his friends as well.
yeah, and then it wasn't just her, but ultimately she was the thing that was causing the loop from like
Mm-hmm.
not being able to progress, and that was the big one that he would have had to
Oh yeah,
kill. Like
yeah.
he tried to go through all of the other scenarios and tried to speed Kane. He did everything he could, and he was like, "Yo, there's no way that I could do this."
But
And it was the only thing she could do. Only
but
thing he could do was kill her.
Rob, but that's the thing. It wasn't him just saving his friends because regardless, it was just her. It was just
Yeah.
her because remember he went all the way back to when they started to spiral out, and she was like, "You're looking for my blessing for you to kill me."
Mhm.
So it was
Mm-hmm.
her the whole time. It
Yeah.
wasn't just his friends because regardless, if he kills her, his friends are alive. It's either save my friends, save the multiverse, or kill
Yeah.
myself. That's literally what it was. He did not want to kill her in the process. So it wasn't his friends, it was her.
Well, also she had a point too. At the end of the day, she said we don't have to do it his way, which would have been his way. Either let him keep ruling, or clap his ass and bring back all his variants. One of the two. Either way, he's still winning at the end of the day. So she brought up a very juxtaposed, a very unique position in terms of why not find something else. And then once he got those time traveling powers, my boy was cold, man. They gotta bring him back. I hope they bring him back as Avenger Prime at least in some form of capacity. I feel like that's where the Daredevils and all of these other characters, possibly a Miles Morales from the Spider Verse, all come together because Loki brings all these characters together. Hugh Jackman, Robert Downey Jr., all of these people. And you saying that Loki ain't coming back? They getting Robert Downey Jr. to come back. Nigga, it
Now,
No,
ain't
it's
no
gonna
lump
be
sum of money.
real. It's just not gonna be like, bro. Like it's like if you were to say, right? Like, okay, think about this though. When did Avengers Endgame come out?
20,
When was
what,
that?
18,
That was before the
Just
2019,
before,
2020.
just before COVID. Yeah, it was
that
like
was before
2019,
COVID.
2020,
Yeah,
right?
because the time skip was
We,
in 2023.
so think about it. If we were to see anything with Robert Downey Jr., right?
Hmm.
It would have to be. We know 2024 is going to be locked and loaded with them just trying to write because they couldn't do as much of that with the strikes and everything. So the next time we probably will be able to possibly see Robert Downey Jr. will be 2025. He still would have had a 5 year break. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Yeah.
like if Tom Hiddleston is saying I need to have a break, he still might be gone for the next like 5 6 years. Like you might not see
He's
him again
42,
until
so
whatever
he can still play
Marvel.
his role.
Yeah, he just might not. He just might not come back till like what is it 2038 or 2028. He might not come back until like 2028. But when we say we not gonna see him, it's like you just not like it's not you can't expect any material and that we've heard about at least currently at this point. You can't maybe some of the later stuff again like the 2028 stuff if they give us stuff from like 2029 and 2020 2030 if they give us stuff around then I would expect to hear him in that type in like that content which some of the stuff you talking about might include that but we not gonna see him for a minute bro.
Mm.
I believe him. 14 years bro, 14 years.
Yep. And Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man for maybe longer.
Yeah, he might or it's about like they might be about at the same now,
All it take
something
is
like
that
that.
money, big dog.
Bruh,
That
but you
Yeah,
lump
I
know how
sum.
mean
much, you know how much they're going to have to pay Robert Downey Jr.? You know how
Yeah,
much, bruh?
they. I'm pretty sure. Think if the league served correctly, they've already came to an agreement
I don't think
on a
so.
lump sum of money.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure because there would be no reason why all of these things have
he
been
about
getting
to
leaked
get
about
paid.
Chris Evans and all of them coming back if they haven't already been in contact with
Chris
them
Evans
already.
already said he would come back. He already stated that. He never said he wouldn't come back as Captain America. Robert Downey Jr. did say he wasn't coming back. But like, for him to say, yeah, I'm going to come back, that price got to be pricing.
Astronomical, but I
Yeah,
mean, let's be honest. A movie with him coming back as Iron Man is at least breaking probably a couple box office records. At max, probably going nuts,
Man,
banana.
we better hope that movie doesn't flop because this is going to be a waste of money for Disney.
It won't be a flop.
yeah, that's the biggest thing is that they gonna have to build everything up a
Mm-hmm.
lot. And that's gonna be hard. That's why it can't be soon because you can't just like Rob. I know you want to just throw him in there because of how like significant he was,
No, not right
but
now,
you could,
obviously.
yeah, you could take the because you thank you because you could take the best actor, you could take the character that we seen work wonderfully, and if you put them behind a terrible script
He's
then
ass.
it just yeah even Robert Downey Jr. can fall victim to that like and I don't want to see that like I felt like they killed it with Iron Man. I feel like they killed it with Loki. Like I feel like those two characters is two characters where yeah, I can say that for both of them now that we at this point. They did a good job on both those characters.
Well, let me
And mhm.
no, go ahead now. My bad, man.
And, no, and all I was going to the only thing that I was going to just say is that is one thing that I definitely don't want to see with both of those characters at this point is them thrown in something that's terribly written. Like I'd rather them take their time. Figure if they even if they do bring if they are planning on bringing back Robert Downey Jr. Man, bring him back into something that makes sense. Don't do that. No, I don't want. I don't even know if I feel comfortable with him in a Riri Williams movie right now because I don't have
Fuck
enough faith
no.
in Marvel. I
Yeah,
don't have enough faith in Marvel right now
that's
to
Chris.
believe that that's going to work well. Like I need to see them build something, and then I can see Robert Downey Jr. again as
The
Iron Man. I don't.
the
Yeah,
only
if they
thing,
bring back Robert Downey Jr. in some bullshit, I don't think he's gonna come back for no bullshit. He's gonna be like, I'm not here to be in a
Absolutely.
bullshit ass movie. But I feel like them even having to go back is like them seeing like these movies ain't shit without the original cast though, for real.
well, my
Like I
whole
feel like they didn't even have to kill that nigga for real, for real. They could have just paralyzed him and put him in like a little incubator or some shit.
I
well,
mean, you got the perfect storm though. I
now the
mean, with
only
Secret Wars,
now
you got
now
multiverse capabilities. You got the opportunity to bring these characters back. Why not bring them back? Fans love them. Like
but
on the end of it's an easy cash grab, but it's also they can have foundations already built with characters that they can bring back for a movie, but we all know their backstory. We all know Iron Man's backstory if they bring Tony Stark back. That just makes it just a little bit easier on top of the characters they've already been building in all of these phases. You got the Kamala Khans, you got the Spider-Mans now. You might got a Miles Morales in there. You might got a Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau. I can't remember her damn name, but you said that she was ass in
photon.
the movie, so she's ass. Photon, ass. Ant Man, Wasp, all these other characters that they've been building on. Yeah, at some point in time, they're gonna have to come together. They did whoop a
See,
Ant Man's. I mean, they did whoop a Kang's ass. So I mean,
they no
yes,
no
yes,
no
yes,
no no.
yes,
Because
yes,
here's the thing,
yes,
though.
yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I think I'm the only one when it came to this. When I was sitting in that theater watching Quantumanium, I really thought they was about to retire Ant Man. With the way Kang was giving this man hands, I thought I was watching a preview of Creed 3. That's how bad it was. Because the only way Ant Man got saved was because of plot armor. Because honestly, they could have set it up where his daughter took over, which it should have been. If we're setting up Young Avengers, you shouldn't be holding on to all these older people. Young Avengers, Secret Wars, like
It'd be
give
the
us what y'all want
comedic,
to
yo.
do.
I feel like it's that comedic. Like I hate that too, but I feel like if you come into the MCU and like even a small niche of people like enjoy your comedic aspect, they just they are willing to give that person like Chris Hemsworth having a little bit humor behind
They
him.
forced that so bad.
No,
They
they
forced
took
it.
that and went so hard. They do the
And
most with it. They do the absolute most with it.
but
It's way too
but the
much.
thing is, it was Tiki Waititi.
And given the how
Now,
bad the second one was,
Love
that's why
and
they
Thunder,
didn't.
Love and Thunder, low on my list. But
Yeah,
Ragnarok, the comedy hit. It's just the fourth one they forced it. They
too
forced it
much.
so bad, especially like it was so simple. The simplest thing that they did in the third one, when him and Hulk fought. You know I won that fight though. That something as simple as that had me rolling.
Right.
And then Hulk's like, "Nah, son, that you was knocked out. You see, you was asleep for like the last 3 days." Like simple stuff like that, it was hitting. A lot of people didn't like Ragnarok, but I loved it. That was my favorite one out of the Thor series. If you do not force the comedy for people who don't need it, like what was it? Homeboy that played Batman, Christian Bale, when he played the God Killer, he's not supposed to be funny.
No.
He's supposed to be
Yeah.
ruthless. He's supposed to be killing gods out here. Like
Yep.
that whole scene with the kids, ah, like that. That's not that didn't it didn't do anything for me. Love and
No.
Thunder, like I would have been okay. Like that movie is real low on my list. It was like a 3 out of 10. If they didn't hit me with the lines, "Oh, Chris Hemsworth, Thor will be returning soon," I would have been fine with that movie. That movie would have been
Definitely.
a 5 for me because that you retired the character. He's with his daughter. quote unquote daughter, and then they live in their life. We're good. They don't. He doesn't need to come back. And then you got
What
Loki
if,
retiring. Like that's we're done with Asgard. We're done. We can go
Damn,
back to the
Skippy coming back.
huh?
Damn, Skippy coming back. Secret Wars ain't happened. These niggas is goddamn working, nigga. Fuck you talking
I'm telling
about?
you too. If you somebody who work even a little bit with funny, they gonna keep bringing you back until
Thor.
you say you
So
don't want to come back.
Thor's supposed to be the god of thunder, but he's the god of taking L's. Every fight he's in, he loses. When has
Didn't he
he
kill
ever?
Gore?
Didn't he kill who?
Did he kill Gore, or was that Lady Thor?
No, no. They as a collective, he needed help.
Yeah,
Thor's supposed to be the
everybody.
god of thunder. You're supposed to
I
be
think
like
the
be able
little
to
girl.
body people, but
I mean, Gore is a god killer. He do kill gods.
with the sword though, kick the
Fine, but like,
bruh.
Bro, we see that nigga kill like 3
no,
people. What are you
no,
talking
we
about?
ain't even
He was
we saw him
supposed to
Three
kill.
body.
gods.
He was supposed to body a whole bunch of people. That movie wasn't supposed to be PG-13. It was supposed to be R. If you gonna go with Gore the Butcher or Gore the God Killer, you're supposed to have him bodying everybody to make him fearsome, to make him scary.
Honestly, that should have been a part 2 movie if done right. For real, for real.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the type of villain where you go, I don't know what we're gonna do with that. And you have a part 2 to finish it up. He not the type of villain that's supposed to have comedic relief, like Terrence said. He not supposed to just kill one guy and then you just have like Shakespearean dialogue from him for the rest of the movie. And that, like, nah, that's not how that character's
Especially the
supposed to be.
kids having the powers at the end when Thor gave him the
Yeah,
that.
they could have
That
ended
thing
it.
was corny as hell.
Yeah.
They could have wrapped that movie. They could have wrapped up Chris Hemsworth's
The
Thor in that movie.
bunny having laser vision.
They could have wrapped up the guy who played Ant-Man. They could have wrapped him up in the last Ant-Man movie. Like you said, you could have moved on to the kids. Y'all could have told us like, "Yo, we not doing Thor no more." But this little girl that he got, yeah, here, go learn about her.
I
She
think
about
she
to go
will.
train with
Yo,
Doctor
that
Strange.
look
She gonna be. I believe she will be a part of Young Avengers.
like
Nah, bro.
the one thing that
Yeah.
killed me was like, yo, like in Quantumanium, Kang was so fearsome. Like Jonathan Majors killed that role. He was the best thing about Quantumanium. When he literally looks at Paul Rudd, didn't I kill you before, bruh? They could have had him kill him again. We could have literally had like Kang could have at least had that one win going into the rest of these movies of him being very fearsome and people knowing he coming out of Quantumanium ready to like wreck stuff, or he goes to the TVA or something.
Because the drama in that movie was trash. It was
Yeah,
trash.
because my whole
The
thing
comic
is,
was fine, but that would have weighed out the comic relief perfectly too. I agree with you.
and my thing is, at the end of Loki, when you see the Kangs like off in the distance, you see that granted it was him time slipping. I wanted to actually see a Kang that was running the TVA. That's the one thing. Honestly, I love the whole series for season 2, but I wanted to see that he did a great job with Victor Timely, but I at least wanted one Kang showing that like I am Kang and I'm running this. Like when they did that, at least give us a blip of which Kang is actually out here doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know about the variants. We've seen them at the end of Quantumania, which that was the best cut scene, ending credit scene I've ever seen. When you see all the Kangs like going wild, going bonkers, literally. That
It just didn't amount to anything because of how bad the rest of the movie was.
Yeah.
Like
That scene was ass.
You take the with the Kangs coming out, I didn't hate that. I just wish the rest of the movie was good.
That shit was you right now because the movie was really like
The
disappointing.
movie was
Yeah,
so
very
bad that you
disappointing.
get that scene and it's like I can understand where somebody like Terrence feel like, okay, that was awesome because it kind of gave like a Planet of the Apes feel. It was cool. I agree with you. I didn't hate the scene, but I could also get where somebody like Derek could because it's like, oh, you just want to add.
Hey,
I said it kind of gave me like a little bit of like kind of like that Planet of the Apes vibe, like when
Apes took over.
yeah, I'm not trying to like say it in that type of way, Derek. I'm trying to say like the idea of ending Doom. Yeah, I'm not trying to call him like that. No, because I had to think about what you might have been pulling from that. But nah, I'm saying like that level of dread that kind of came over in the Planet of the Apes scene when you see all of the apes take over like that, and it kind of gave that same viewpoint, but with the Kangs, and you know what comes with Kang. It's not that you know that same kind of level of dread that you would feel when you watch like Planet of the Apes, because it is when you think about a whole army of apes coming at like willing to destroy humanity. And that's the tone that they're trying to set. They kind of capture it well when you got the apes just literally looking like a virus flood that's just in passing everywhere around you. And doing that with Kang in that moment was cool to me because it's like, yeah, dude, this dude, you think that the ants killed Kang? Nah, the ant, y'all the ants compared to this army of Kang. Like it gave off that vibe in a way. It was, and that was cool to me. That was fine. But I do get where a lot of people that scene probably didn't do nothing for them because when you got a whole movie that's terrible holding up the scene that kind of should have, like the scene should make more sense, but the movie don't allow for it to because of the way that Kang is portrayed.
I feel like if Kane would have killed him, that ending cutscene people would have
That
loved it
scene
more.
is way better. Yeah, it's
If,
way better now.
because
If you would have
then
had, mhm.
you wouldn't hear them say, "Oh, pretty much." I think they. I don't know because they were going back. I don't know if they made reference to He Who Remains or the Kane that lost in the Quantum Verse, but they said pretty much one of them died, but we don't know which one that they were talking about
Right,
because we think
right,
it's Quantum Mania, but someone said it was He Who Remains
yeah,
because Loki did drop before that.
right,
Yo, they
yeah.
should have had that nigga kill the whole family though.
Bruh,
Besides the daughter. That way, it
that would have
really
been
could have been like,
perfect.
oh,
I would have been.
if they left the daughter and they killed Janet, I mean, the two Wasp and the two Ant-Man, they were like, yo, he just took out a whole group of niggas, and then they
You
got
know,
like, oh, that was one of them. So, but the fact that they really let him lose to Ant-Man, that shit ain't sit right with me at all.
That's
to
what I'm
be
saying. It
honest
would have
with you,
been
I
perfect
agree
send
with
off.
you, Derek. I agree that would have been in Terrence. I heard you say perfect. I agree because if you go through that movie the way that they were talking, they should have died.
Yeah,
Like when I really sit there and think about it, like the grandma, like I don't want to go back. We can't go back when they first was getting ready to go,
and she was
and then now
scared.
when they find, yeah, she was terrified. It would have been perfect. They
She was
should have
only
made that.
terrified because she had a nigga over there. That's why she like, damn, my husband gonna know I was out here getting Ant-Man dick,
This is where I'm leaving.
Yo,
I'm
on
letting
the
you.
D
mania dick.
D,
What?
I'm done.
This is going to
I'm done.
Rob. This is going to
This
Rob.
just took a okay. This just took a
We,
dark. Why every
we
time
gave
it's
our
gonna take a dark turn like this?
He said,
Golly,
Hank, we cannot go back there,
it always go back to Dick, bro. What's going on, man?
She
bro.
did.
He said, "Whoa."
Bro,
The
in the
way.
scene, she was like, Hank was like, "Who is this?" She was like, "I got lonely." Like, oh, you. That's why you didn't want to come to the quantum realm,
Yeah. All right.
bro. We should have seen Kang really whoop the family, and should have had the daughter turn around like, "Oh, glad that's over." Bam. Should have seen Kang with his hand around the dad neck, snap, and the portal closed. Bam. She'd have been on Earth going crazy.
Yeah, that would have been
Nah,
perfect. That would have been perfect.
I could deal with all of that bullshit that happened with Kane. What they did to Modoc was unforgivable.
Okay, we're
That
not gonna
shit
talk
Oh,
was
about Modoc,
fucking
but honestly, we're gonna leave that in the past. That's why. Why?
unforgivable.
Why do you think I never brought him up? I don't want to bring
They
him up.
showed this nigga butt cheeks as he was getting turned into Modoc, bro. This is what y'all think niggas pay hard money for to watch in the movie theaters?
yo.
Terrible
Niggas
reference. And
baby
the
butt
wild part
cheeks,
is
big
Modoc
leg.
should be a great character. Like Modoc should be fun. It should be a character you able to have a little bit of fun with. They don't necessarily even have to have a large role. I think that was the smartest thing that they did with Modoc was they were trying to kind of confine his role a little bit, but then they just started messing up and just made a mess of it, made a
Yo,
whole mess of it. But they could have just left that to being like a confined, short kind of like real true side character kind of vibe, and just let it be at like that. And if we were to get more of Modoc, we just get more Modoc in another
see,
film or like
Modoc,
another, another
the
TV
TV series
show.
with Modoc with Fire on Hulu.
I didn't even see that.
That
I
joint was
didn't, but
hilarious. It was hilarious.
and from what I could understand though, that character was nothing even at least like the Modoc that people love from that animated version, right? It was just like his own thing, right? Like this Modoc ain't no inspiration. It didn't really seem like it was much
No,
inspiration from that or
no.
anything. Yeah, so they should have just left the character alone if they was going to do that. Like completely left him out of that. Why did he even need to be an Ant Man?
Like my whole thing is Modoc in the Avengers game, which was trash, was more sinister than that Modoc.
Yeah, they not doing really well with the Sinister, and I know the PG-13 is like making it hard, but like y'all still could do better than this. We
I would
had a
agree.
whole Thanos was great. That was all PG-13.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why y'all just like magically don't know how to make a villain
And
in
Thanos,
PG-13?
Thanos was bodying people. He sacrificed his own daughter in PG
Yeah,
13.
yeah. I don't get it. I don't know, but they just something happened where after Thanos, they just like we don't know how to make villains anymore. We just can't. Well, heroes too. They not doing a great job at either. And the sad part is like we giving Loki praise, but you gotta kind of remember Loki, an old character. Like he not even.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even count him as like, oh, Marvel's done a great new character. Like the closest thing I could probably say is Kamala Khan and Terrence. You and I might say that, but like 99% of people hate that character.
Yes, they do, and they hated that
So
series.
yeah, so as much as I want to say, to me, Kamala Khan was a win in terms of new good characters being written. You can't even really say that when you look at the mass reception of it. It's like they gotta get it together.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. I'm cool with them slowing down next year. I do agree. I think it should at least be two movies. I do hate the idea of it just being one. But Rob, to which you said, they may need to have an extreme right now. Go extreme one side so we can see you get it back together because y'all kind of falling out of sync of what y'all have made us fall in love with over these last what 20
Deadpool.
years pretty much.
Deadpool
Damn
needs
near.
to be.
Hey, real
Deadpool is
quick.
their extreme movie that they need to have. If you're going
It's
to,
gonna be
because they bought Fox, get rid of Fox and really set up, like, let those last 20 minutes of the Deadpool movie set up everything else, like the multiverse, Secret Wars. Let it see, like, let it in the background somewhat. Like, give us some comedy in there because it's Ryan Reynolds, and let it lead into let us keep Hugh Jackman for like two more movies because honestly, that's my favorite Wolverine. No one's going to top that.
Yeah, I know. That's gonna be
So
a hard character to figure out
yeah,
as huge.
because if this is what we've been asking for, a Deadpool Wolverine movie, and the fact that they're fighting each other, oh my goodness, I can't wait for that because I know it's gonna be pure comedy. But let this
Yeah.
Deadpool movie set everything up for the next 2 years. Like let Kank show up while because what was it? Deadpool 2. He was going back in time. Let them make reference of that with everything with the TVA. The TVA is supposed to show up. Maybe we might get Loki for a cutscene in Deadpool for a moment. Maybe Kang can show up. Like this movie can set up a lot going forward.
Yeah, they might have to. It might. This we might be where they have to look at it and do it that way, and that Deadpool has to be the movie that does that. Um, the other part that you got to kind of think about too. Yo, when I was thinking about this the other day, when did Disney get Fox? It's been Derek.
Almost
You was
almost
here.
almost like 6 7 years ago. And
Oh, I was
the
really in
thing
Buffalo at
is
the time.
the thing
Like,
is the reason why because Disney had to let everything else die out because X-Men still had like two movies left when they had that the Dark Phoenix movie and Days of Future Past I think it is where they
No, it
had
was Apocalypse, right?
it, no Apocalypse was before Days of Future Past. That was the last one because they had Wolverine in it. He actually showed up for a split second. No, that
It's
was his movie actually.
Oh,
it still
Logan.
takes times
Yeah,
after the
no, not
release.
Logan, not Logan. It was Days of Future Past because they sent Wolverine back in the past to fix stuff, and then when he came back, that like kind of reset everything, and that was their last movie leading into Dark Phoenix.
yeah,
It
yeah,
still
that's
took
right.
time after the initial
No,
contracts.
Days of Future Past came out in 2014 though, and then Apocalypse was after that.
Yeah, they got. I'm pretty sure they got the rights after their last X-Men movie, like
Yeah,
right
after the last
after
X-Men joint.
after
Wait, time
the
out. They
Dark
didn't get
Phoenix.
it before Dark Phoenix. I thought
Nah,
they
the
got it
Dark
like in the
Phoenix.
middle, and then it had to come out. They got it, and then Dark
They
Phoenix came
either
out.
had to get it like I feel like it was right around that Dark Phoenix time, whether it be earlier or after. It still takes years, That's why with the Incredible Hulk movie, that Marvel necessarily didn't have all of the rights for it. That's why they couldn't make a complete Hulk movie. They had to spread them out throughout multiple
Yeah,
other people
different movies, and
things
yeah,
because of
I
the
didn't know about
contracts and
that one.
everything like that. It's super complicated for whatever reason. So it took them some time in order to be able to cultivate some more stuff. Because I believe the last Fox thing that they created, I don't think that Dark Phoenix was the last one. I think it was
No, New
Deadpool 2,
Mutants.
right?
New Mutants.
Deadpool 2 or New
And
Mutants.
I'm gonna say this: everybody feels that movie was trash. I actually liked it.
I never even seen that movie.
I
I
actually
forgot
I
that
liked it.
it
went
came
to
out.
sleep. I went to sleep on that shit.
I
I ain't
actually
gonna lie.
enjoyed it because it was their horror movie
Like
per se. So it was kind of cool their take on it, like with all the
doing
scary stuff that was
comparison
happening.
with the movies. Yeah, I thought that was a good idea. It's just the X-Men movies were always just so like you never knew what you was gonna get. It might be really good, or it might be the worst thing you might have ever seen in your life by the
Hmm.
time you get out the theater. So I just kind of let it go by the wayside because of that. But I didn't hate the thought, like the plot of it. I think it kind of makes sense for mutants to have a little bit of like a horror vibe. You got some mutants that look scary. You got other like bro, Nightcrawler don't scare you when you. That's not a walking horror movie.
Nah, man,
Nightcrawler low key
let
a
that man
walking
pop up
horror
in my
movie.
face. Ah.
He, he a walking jump scare, just poofing up here, poofing here. Like bro, I'd be in an actual. If they actually did that realistically, that's a jump scare. Like that's low key. Even if he just coming to bring you a glass of lemonade, he could be getting Cyclops a glass of lemonade. You have him pop out of nowhere just in the middle of a dialogue. That's a horror scene.
Hmm.
Like, whoa, all right, bro, calm down. You just came
Yo,
out of
so
nowhere.
speaking on that Hulk joint, y'all think like they could have just left Hulk alone for like a good 3, 4 movie, like even Thor Ragnarok, they could just left that nigga on the planet or something
They could have, but
until
they
they got
already
Yeah,
the
they
did
could
rights.
have.
his ass.
They
And
had to
then
use
that way
him.
it was like when Planet Hulk come around, it's like, oh shit, like we forgot all about that nigga. And
You
here
know
he
the
comes.
blowback Marvel would have got if they would have had Hulk in that fucking first
They
Avengers
shouldn't have did
movie, and then
She-Hulk.
they never brought him in.
Well, you
Nigga,
said what?
I said, you know the blowback Marvel would have got if they would have brought the Hulk in for the first Avengers movie, and then left him by the wayside after that. Niggas would be upset as fuck. Cause why do
No,
you
I was
bring?
saying, when he got shipped off to the other planet and shit, like we could have seen him in Thor Ragnarok fighting, but I mean to bring him along because it was like, what purpose did he serve in Endgame? He wasn't really doing shit. He disabled now with a fucking bum arm.
Well,
I mean, there was a lot of niggas
he
not
got
really
two
doing
piece.
shit.
He
To be
got
honest
hit
with
with a
you.
2 piece and a biscuit.
But he's the Hulk. That should have made him mad. The strongest there is. You got hit with a 2 piece and you couldn't rip Thanos' leg off.
Thanos is the strong. It is 10 times probably stronger than
Did he
Thanos
fucking
have the
Hulk.
scared
power?
him.
Did he have the Power Stone at that point too?
Yep.
He
I
did.
believe so.
You're right. But it's
He
like, bro, at
actually
that
did
point, you
that.
got hit with some boxing moves. Like we seen Captain America go toe to toe with Thanos, and it's like, damn, like Hulk couldn't at least land a hit on that nigga.
Well,
I think
because
Captain
Hulk,
America.
because it's like this. Hulk always had that nothing can stop me. Like even if I get a hit, nothing can stop me. He actually had the fear of God put in him. He was like a 2-year-old getting a behind beat for touching candy and thinking they gonna run to the store and steal it, and they dad like caught, like Thanos put that, hit him with the black dad look, and that was it. Like when what was it when Bruce Banner was in the Hulkbuster suit and they were fighting. He was like, "Yo, Hulk, we gotta go." He says, "No, we gotta do this." No, I don't want to. And then, like, he got
That
the
shit
fear.
was corny as hell.
He got the fear God put in him. Like Thanos with the Power Stone is more powerful than Hulk. He actually took an L, and that's never been. Hulk never really takes L's. He never
Yeah, but it's
does.
like, like you gotta. That's the nigga whole power. The madder he is, the stronger he gets. It's like, bro, like I took a
That's
L.
why you gotta bring
I
Angry
should
Hulk.
be mad as fuck right now that I took this L from this purple nigga. And it's like, bam, when I see him again, it's on. I'm gonna show him I'm really the strongest. But no, it's like
Nope.
I'm finna be in Wakanda with a Hulkbuster suit on, fighting little Thanos niggas. And it's like, damn, like y'all could have left him on that planet for that. Had him just build up his anger and come back to Earth or something.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the thing. I think that's the direction they have to, and I don't. They're ruining it, but I hope that they can get it turned around. But this storyline with Hawk after Thor or after Thanos, that is what they need to they need to take that and be like, yo, Hawk, you got the last we remember you was getting whooped by Thanos. You not angry about that? And that entire thing need to be the continuation for the Hawk storyline. Like, yo, bruh, nah, like I'm the Hawk. Like he need to like remember he's the Hawk. Right now he's Bruce Banner. Right
Doctor
now he
Hawk.
is Bruce.
He's Doctor
Yeah,
Hawk.
smart. Yeah, he's Doctor Hawk, which is essentially Bruce Banner. He just a giant Bruce Banner that's green right now.
So
But
he's
he needs to like remember that he the Hawk, and I think that they could do that. But
well. They took that away from him with the whole at the, what was it at the end of She Hulk, him coming out with his son. They
yeah,
took that away from
no,
him.
That's
they
the that's
need
the
to.
only way. That's the only way he can get to that level though. Is if they kill his son.
That's not gonna happen
If
because I don't think
somebody
that
kills
does
his
that
No,
happen
Bro,
in the
they
him,
story.
him having a son ain't even look all that cool. It wasn't even
It
like he
didn't.
really cared. Like, hey, here go my son. If that nigga get
that's
popped,
why
bro,
I'm
he can
hoping they just kill
bro,
that
could
nigga
you
off. To be
imagine?
honest.
Nah, bro. If they brought, like, honestly, I get why you saying that, Rob. But like, do you understand how sad it would be if they have to bring this kid? They have to create a kid for Hawk, kill him, which don't even happen in the comic books, just for them to tell a good story for the Hawk. They need no. Y'all can go back to the drawing board and get this together if that's the case.
Hey,
Because I
listen.
do agree with you. At this point, it's like they do kind of gotta like they gotta do something drastic to make him angry again, and it's sad because he's the Hulk. He's the
yeah.
Hulk.
Well, the one thing is they took away the one thing he had, and that was
Yeah,
Scarlett Johansson.
right. Scarlett Johansson's character. Right. That was they could have used that. They pissed her off. Now you can't even. They could have used her death as a trigger for that somehow. They missed that entire opportunity. Now
No,
that's
he tried
walking.
to bring her back though. Remember, he was like, I tried to bring everybody back, but I couldn't bring Natasha back. And
Yeah,
that's when
but
you see that nigga like I don't know. He ain't seem too mad about it.
that's what exactly, and that's what I'm saying is he don't seem too mad about it. So they wasted the opportunity of it by not allowing him. Like they could have fleshed that. There's so many angles. I guess they kind of could, but they can't when you introduce a new angle. Like, oh, here's my son. Well, I mean, you should probably love your son, so I'm sure we're gonna learn more about him. I don't think you're gonna go back to Natasha now and see how that can circumvent your anger again. You can't do that because they missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
Now it's what is the dramatic thing that's gonna be around Scar? Is it gonna just be Scar's anger brings his anger back? What is stupid? They messed up though. They messed up hard.
Bro, but Scar don't even look like how he's supposed to. Cause I
He
mean,
don't.
like that nigga they brought to the cookout, it was like, yo, son, like what
Bro,
is
why are
that?
you bringing Scar to a cookout?
A
For,
model
like,
citizen.
yo, y'all
That threw me
seen
for a
Scar in the
loop.
comic books?
Bro,
Y'all
in the
seen
comic books, I was like, this probably the rawest nigga. He like a green Lobo type nigga, bro.
He is
Mm-hmm.
evil. He is evil, low key. And in this, they got him pulling up at a cookout as our introduction. I was like, this is
Literally,
not the same. Like,
literally
this must
looking
be
like
his.
this.
Yeah,
He wasn't, bro. He didn't even say nothing,
He
he
didn't
just
need to
was.
have no lines because it would have been a waste of time.
It would
bro.
have.
That shit, bro. That shit, bro. I'm telling you, if they bring
Like,
on
he
that A
really
team
like
shit, I hope
psycho.
that whole team die.
Damn.
Yeah, I said
Yeah,
it.
they gonna bring him on the
I
younger Avengers.
said it.
They gonna bring him in the
That
young Avengers.
honestly,
They
This
that's
nigga
what
absolutely
Terry
I'm
are.
on
looking
that
Bro,
forward
stupid.
Marvel
to the
been shoehorning a
Thunderbolts.
lot of bullshit in, bro, because that scene, I still toss and turn at night thinking of this shit. You got
No, but
Spider Man, bro. You
Andrew,
got Spider Man fighting niggas with the Infinity Gauntlet, and Captain Marvel's like, "I'll take it from here." And all of a sudden, every bitch in the MCU show up. Like, what? Shouldn't y'all be fighting somebody? You got Wasp popping up. You got Piper. What's Iron Man whole name?
Pepper
Pepper
Piper,
Potts
bitch.
popping up. You got all these hoes popping up for one gauntlet. Like, yo, y'all should be fighting, and y'all sitting here posing to do some shit. It's like, yo, bro, like they really finna mess this all up. Like, I'm telling y'all, bro. Kamala Khan gonna end up being a new Iron Man, and I'm gonna go to California and boycott this shit, bro. Somebody gonna hear this. Somebody gonna hear my anger.
bro, she honestly though is like legit out of the actors and actresses that they've introduced. I'm just don't have a judgment of the character and just kind of like go by the acting. She
Right.
honestly is looking like they best bet in
Yep.
terms of like I whether you like her or not, she just looked like it at this point right now because everybody
Is
I
it
don't
Tom Holland?
I think you was talking about it before like apparently they writing about it now. They talking about how the actors don't seem like they got like energy regarding it. Is that's like a real thing? Because I don't whatever article you was talking about before, send that to me because I'm actually genuinely curious about that. But because it's kind of noticeable, like I'm noticing it. I'm like, yo, the actors. It's just like
They just don't care.
yeah, like they just the only one who given that energy is and like Rob said, I know that she is a big Marvel fan. Like she was a huge I think that was Rob that said that she is a
Yep.
huge like Marvel fan, like how we are fans. So
Yeah.
like I'm glad her energy is there. I'm glad that she has that, but like, yo, either y'all gonna have to hire more comic book nerd, you gotta hire people like us to play the people, or y'all gonna have to tell these actors like, yo, y'all not getting this bag because they getting the bag. They
Easily.
getting the bag. Y'all do not. Y'all gonna have to do better than this. Y'all gonna have to do better
You
than this.
you might got some on the horizon though. Whoever they
Maybe.
find, which they're probably taking their time with this Fantastic Four, which is probably the reason why they taking their time. They also got Blade, Mahershala Ali. He's been very adamant about changing that script and making it better. Shut your
Now it's
mouth.
looking better
Shut
now.
your mouth. Yeah, it's
It's
looking
looking
better
better
now.
now.
It's looking better now. It took some time, but Mahershala Ali, the type of level of actor he is, wasn't gonna stand for that bullshit. We appreciate you, Mahershala. We appreciate you a lot
To be
because
honest, too. No, keep going. I'm sorry.
Nah, I was just gonna say if they was gonna fucking drop that shit and it was gonna be 20 minutes worth of fighting scenes in a fucking Blade movie, in a fucking hour, 2 hour plus movie, you
Bruh,
they'd
it
lick
needs
my
to be
balls.
TVMA. Like you can't make a Blade series TV 14. You can't.
I think,
No,
and we starting to see shows now. Echo is a show that I didn't expect to
That's
be
gonna be
TV.
TVMA. That's gonna be
TVMA.
yeah.
I
TVMA.
didn't expect it to
So,
be TVMA. So
bruh,
now they starting,
the
and Deadpool, I'm pretty sure is gonna be rated R.
oh no, they
TVMA
already said that. They already said
rated R.
even when they took it over from Fox, they already said Disney already said Deadpool will be the one movie that is rated R, because you cannot. They, okay, Fox did their thing because I'm not gonna lie, they did well with making Deadpool 2 PG-13. I don't know if y'all caught that Deadpool, the Christmas movie when he kidnapped Fred Savage. They went back over through the Deadpool 2 movie and made like bleeped out all the cuss words and everything, but all the comedy hit for a PG-13 movie. Had me rolling the whole time. Like literally, there's a scene where him and Fred Savage is going back and forth, and Deadpool's like, you know what? To make this more of a PG-13 movie, I'm gonna bleep out every F word that's being said. So he's like beeping it out every time Fred Savage is saying something. And they had a whole scene back and forth where he's like, "Well, I heard you want a big Matt Damon." He was like, "Matt Damon really said that? Really?" And it was going back and forth. Like literally, he was beeping out every word that sounded like he was saying the F word, but he was saying
Mhm.
fight. Like he want to fight Matt Damon. Like they want to go back and
Mhm.
forth. So literally, that like they did a good job. Like Deadpool can be a PG-13 movie, but it has to hit. But for it to be perfect, it has to be rated R.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool's Deadpool. We know who he
Right.
is and what he
Yeah.
brings to the table.
They gotta start they gotta that might be one of the biggest problems with Marvel is that they gonna have to start realizing, yo, y'all got some characters that just gotta be R.
Yeah.
You listen, Spider Man all day, every day. Keep a PG-13 all you want because
Mm-hmm.
it's the perfect character for that to work. But like Blade, Wilson Fisk, in any capacity, I don't want to see some of these characters in a PG-13 role because I think that they might get too limited by it. Now I do agree with you. That's an interesting. I didn't know how you broke that down for Deadpool. I did not know that happened, and it makes sense though. It make a lot of
What's it
sense.
called? What's it called? It's the because I really advise all y'all to watch it because I kid you not. I went to the theaters to go sit down and watch it. Granted, people ask me, "Oh, why you go see it again?" It's just Deadpool 2. It was
Mm.
worth it. It was
It
worth
was
it.
worth it.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
What is it? It's like Deadpool.
I do agree though that Deadpool might be that might be where you could really have a lot of fun because with what Terrence just said, yeah, you kind of can, but like, bro, the humor is kind of like when you got the swear words in there, it's like it's adult humor technically, But when you take the swear words out there, it kind of seemed more like a family, I could see where it could be like family humor. You know what I mean?
Once
Like,
Upon a Deadpool, that's
it's
what it's called.
what is it called?
Once Upon a Deadpool.
Okay, okay. But the what's the guy who plays him? Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds.
Reynolds, yes.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is he got a real unique brand of comedy. I kind of do like him as an actor because his comedy, you could take it and you can use it in a completely PG-13 movie and just tell him to have like, just have like no swear words and all of that in it. But then you could also turn around and have him do the exact same brand of comedy and have him just use swear words and it
Mm-hmm.
feel like an adult comedy. Like it switches off of just words that you use with his comedy. It works really well for that. So I see like now that I didn't again, I'm gonna look into that. But now that you bring that up, I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense why Deadpool might actually be like the true test. And it
Mm-hmm.
should be. I hope that they really learn a lot on what they need to do forward based off this Deadpool movie, and that they did take that time to figure those things out.
And one key thing is Once Upon a Deadpool is not on Disney Plus. I don't know
It's on
why.
Hulu.
It's I gotta find it. Like the last one I seen was on DVD or something. But
Okay.
with that movie, I think Disney's a little heartwarming. But Deadpool 1 and 2 is on Disney Plus. But I don't think they wanted to add that in there because the comedy did it hit, but it's on. It seems like it goes past our in a sense just how the jokes hit in a certain way, even though it's like everything bleeped out. 80% of
I
all
got
the 100% of all the cuss words are bleeped out, and it's hilarious.
but just how it's the structure of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is, that's where it's making sense. With Deadpool, you can just have more liberty with that structure, but you need to make sure that with having those liberties, you got the right care. And they got the blueprint. They got all of what they need to make it a success. It's just a question of if the MCU is going to actually translate it that way. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like political factors that I feel like really get in the way of a lot of the things that Disney does, and then like that just ends up watering things down way more than they necessarily need it to be. Like Disney won't even air a bear in certain countries because of political reasons around it. So it's like they respond very sensitively to how people are going to perceive them, which is like any other business I know. But with Disney being an entertainment, being geared around kids, I just think they maybe take it a little too far and they don't realize it at times.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see how they pull back, but they won't have no choice with this content at this point. Same thing is kind of happening with Star Wars, to be honest with you.
Man, don't get me started with Star Wars.
I know it's been an up and down too. It's the same. Disney got to get it together with their properties.
The
Yeah, they
only
do.
thing that's really hitting with Star Wars is the TV shows: The Mandalorian,
Yeah,
Ahsoka,
the
Andor.
last string really did it. The last string of TV shows really did it. The Andor, the Ahsoka, the Obi-Wan, even
Honestly,
um,
they need to stop making Star Wars movies.
Bad
Just keep with the TV
Batch.
shows.
Yeah, it might. Terrence, we'll do one on that because that's a whole topic. Because
Oh yeah.
I got words for that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
All
Bruh,
yeah.
right.
I'm not gonna lie. I need to find that scene now.
I think that this is probably enough for today.
Ugh.
Another 2 hours
Yeah,
of Marvel,
yeah, that's
all
cool.
Marvel related stuff. We'll probably do JJK. JJK is still going on. Invincible's still going on.
Yeah,
So we'll probably just do a 2 episode wrap up of both of them next week since we knocked out all the Marvel stuff that we could now.
Yeah.
But once
yeah.
again, I appreciate y'all for pulling up to the stream, pulling up to the podcast, wherever you may be watching us. I'm Sage again. I'm gonna let everybody else announce themselves as well. Plug yourselves if y'all got any social medias that y'all want people to follow or catch you at and everything like that.
All right, I'll go up next. So yeah, Croco's Corner for me. I'm Niall, but go by Croco. Croco's Corner. You can find us for this type of content, this stuff. It'll also be linked there for you to get in contact with us in regards to this type of things, but then also just kind of be on the lookout for other, for our other brothers here's content as well, I'm going to try to kind of make sure that it's something that can plug you guys for that. We also will go a little bit into some other angles on the comic book and anime side of things. And we also do a little bit of like health and history over there too. So just be on the lookout of that for that as well. But Crocco's Corner, at Crocco's Corner on everything.
All platforms, yes sir. We got Terrence T Smooth 24. Catch him on Twitch. He's actually streaming this live. He's gonna be streaming all throughout the week, all throughout those days, playing all sorts of games that y'all like to see. Got my boy Chef D Derek up in the building, repping H Town. You dig? You got anything you want to plug?
No, I'm not on social media right now, but I'll be back soon.
Hey, my man's getting right. My man's getting right. We appreciate y'all again. We'll be back next week with chock full of
Hold on.
more information. I
Thank you
hope
for
it's not Marvel.
thank you for speaking for me. I couldn't even say not a daggone word.
Nigga, you was sitting there staring at the camera. I was waiting on
hold
your
up,
ass.
no, because you went straight in and then went right to D, and then you couldn't even come back to me. You was like spilled all my whole thing. Well, besides the fact, thank you for saying all that, Rob. Yes, I am a variety streamer. Do a lot of things. I work in IT, and yeah, and I got a ventriloquist dummy right there. Yeah, he speaks for me apparently.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
I said, yeah.
Yeah, that was so funny.
That nigga over here giving resume tips, boy. Ain't nobody trying to know your goddamn day job, nigga.
I'm trying to. I'm out here trying to work angles. I'd rather work for myself than work for other people.
I can't knock it. I can't knock it.
Exactly. I am not about to knock that. Nope.
Did he just fumble the ball again?
Oh, brother. I'm hearing them niggas in the next room.
Yeah, I kind of got it pulled up a little bit too, but
This shit is bad, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. My reaction.
We're rocking the Bills right now. It's bad.
It's 15-15 right now, but yeah. We out here.
It?
Josh failed handoff to James Cook.
Holy flying fuck, bro.
Oh, these niggas not making the playoffs, dog.
Nah, don't say that, bro. We still got.
It was Josh's fault. Josh, he went like this, and the ball fell out his hand.
Oh, fucking brother.
Yeah.
Bro, Diggs gotta be injured. He only got 2 catches, dog. Like, this the shit I don't need on fantasy. He finna get dropped to the waivers.
Yes.
You're not about to drop.
You ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Nigga, what?
I mean, how the Bills been playing, you might have to. The nigga hasn't been doing anything this game, I don't believe.
2 catches, bro, for 23 yards. Like, I could did that shit.
How many points he got?
Wow, that's
Bro, he got 4 points.
4, damn.
Bro, you got niggas like CeeDee Lamb scoring 39 points in fantasy. Keenan Allen, 40 points. Diggs got 4 points in the third, and it's 1 minute left.
Jeez Louise. These niggas just don't want to win. Y'all.
This is all
right. I'm about to hit that. Button. Anybody else got anything? Or we adjourn for the night.
We are on.
All right. Send it off, Sage.
What you want me to say? Peace, nigga. Adios. Fuck.
Wait, are we still on? Like last time, I just be jumping some more.
Nah, we still on. I haven't stopped the stream yet, or even stopped the recording.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of Squad Nero with all of us. Yeah, just honestly go follow us, guys, on all of those things that we listed before. We want to give you guys as much content as possible, so just follow those things, and we'll be here. We're gonna be here to give you guys more content, and we look forward to doing this with you every other week.
Can I ask what the N in Nero stand for?
Why you gotta stand
Negro? He just took the G out.
Nero means black in Italian.
No, Negro means black. I'm like, Squad Nero. I'm like, who is Nero?
Not touching
Niggas
that.
took the Z off.
It's Black Squad, nigga. Nero
Lord
Squad.
have mercy.
Lord
Squad
have
Nero.
Nigga said, nah, Nero ain't black Negro.
He said it's Negro. It's Nero now.
All right, let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this end button. Let the credits roll.
Oh, we